Marines.
Good morning and welcome to the Regional Radio Sports Network. The Breakfast Club's coming to you live this morning from Richard C. Patterson Field at Jenkins Stadium. College baseball today. It's a cool, crisp morning here on this 27th of April. 38 degrees here from our broadcast location. 9-mile-an-hour winds, gust slightly, but weather is impending. Coming up here in about 3 hours, we're going to try to get a college baseball game in. 9-inning affair here today as the Bethel Pilots host the Mount Vernon Nazarene Cougars in a very important game in regards to the big picture of Crossroads League dynamic as the Mount Vernon Nazarene Cougars trying to secure a championship, a regular season championship in the league for the first time since 2016 after three consecutive championships when they entered the league in 2014, won it in 14, 15, and 16. They have stumbled the last couple times out, and certainly they're in a position today with a win against the Bethel Pilots. They will certainly put themselves in the prime spot to hold on and win the Crossroads League championship. But the Huntington Foresters hoping that that is not going to be the case. Both these two teams right now coming in at 18-8 in league play. And a lot of things at stake here as the Crossroads League Championship will be decided here today, or even potentially as Huntington has a makeup game coming up, I believe, later on next week. So we're glad you can join us. Mount Vernon 35-15, 18-8 in league play, taking on the 11-27 Bethel Pilots. Pilots is 7-19. I'm Paul Condry. Glad you can join us here alongside Dante Stanton, as well as Landon Kaufman, Andrew Bowen. Glad that you could be here for a cool, crisp morning of what is going to be college baseball. The big question, Dante, right from the get-go is, will we play 9 innings of baseball today? Looking at the weather map right now, doesn't look very, very good, but it will be an official game after 5 innings.
That's right, and weather's about as unpredictable as ever, and I'm hoping we get this game in before noon before that weather hits.
Pilots, of course, yesterday swept by this very, very fundamentally sound Mount Vernon squad. And if you go back and look at the numbers in yesterday's game, it certainly wasn't one that left a lot to be desired if you're Pilot fans. Pilots got beat 14-11 in the first game, lost 10-3 in the nightcap. And I spent some time earlier today with Seth Zartman, the head coach of the Bethel Pilots. It's time for the Seth Zartman pregame show. And we'll get to that interview with Seth right now here on the Regional Radio Sports Network. The Breakfast Club here today at Bethel College. The Pilots in action against the Mount Vernon Nazarene Cougars. Mount Vernon yesterday put up a couple double-digit wins against the Pilots. And joining us now here on the morning edition of the Seth Zartman pregame show, the coach of the Pilots. Seth, first of all, let's give credit where credit is due. During the course of this season, Mount Vernon has now 17 times during the course of the year scored over 10 runs. And once in a while you have to give credit to the other team.
Yeah, you really do, Paul. And I give all the credit to them yesterday. You know, they came out and did what they needed to do. And, you know, if you look at their ball club, you know, they're not a power-hitting ball club. I mean, I know they had a home run yesterday, but they're guys that just put the ball in play, you know, and make things happen. But, yeah, you have to give them credit. They hit the ball well in that, especially, well, in both games, you know, to score 14 and 10. And, you know, so, you know, they just, I mean, they're overall a well-rounded ball club, and we just ran into a buzzsaw yesterday.
You know, I was looking at the glass half full, glass half empty. I'm a glass half full guy, but you're down 14-3 and you score 7 runs instead of packing up. And literally, you had the tying run on deck in the first game. So how about this team battling back?
Yeah, I was real proud of our guys. And I told them that, you know, after the game, you know, I said, you know, they did a great job in coming back there, you know, and it just shows that, we're still here to compete. I know game 2 really didn't, show a lot of that with the score, but I felt like, we kept battling. But I just told him, I said, we still have an opportunity here to win a series. Now, obviously, that's not going to happen for us, but, I think it's a testament to, just sitting there saying we're not going to completely fall over here and, pack it in right now. And so hopefully, we'll carry that into today and, understand now it's about the nature of just competition. You're playing a game, and do you want to win?
Okay, so unique situations. We may or may not have senior day. So you got 5 boys who are going to be packing it up, and we'll get into that situation. But each class, as you say goodbye to them, and with the weather pending really nasty on Tuesday, so we may not get a chance to talk about. But let's just talk about your 5 seniors who certainly you have the fact that they've showed a lot of stick-to-itiveness to be able to stay here and battle for 4 years.
Yeah, and you look at this group, and I think all but one of them are 4-year guys that's been in our program. And, you look at guys like that who stay with the program for 4 years and put in the time and the effort and, injuries, battling through some things and all that. And, this class, I think, seen it all, through the time. They've seen some postseason experience. They've also seen the down of a couple years here where we haven't made it back to postseason. So, but I'm always proud of the guys who come through. And I think probably what I'm most proud of is these guys are going to graduate. And that's what it's all about, to come here to get the experience to play, but also to go through and to get that degree, as they leave here and go into that next phase of life. So we're going to miss them, but, every year it's a new change, it's a new season, and, these guys are going to go on and be very productive in whatever they do. And, we're going to look forward to seeing what they do in the future here.
Okay, final question. We're going to try to dance around the weather. We've got to try to get this 9-inning game. What's the managerial side of things in your approach today to get the 9 in?
Yeah, well, I think the managerial point now is, just keep looking at the radar and say, okay, we got a really good shot of beating the weather. But even here, is try to get up early, try to put some pressure on early, get a lead early, because this game, if weather would happen to hit us early, it's going to be a complete game after 5. So, it's putting yourself in that best chance to make sure that you're taking care of business through those middle innings, and that's what we're going to try to do today.
Best of luck, and as always, it's the 16 years we've had a chance to spend together has been awesome. Thanks for taking me around for the ride.
Absolutely, Paul. It's always been a pleasure, and thank you for coming out here and doing what you do for us. We appreciate it.
We'll be back with more Bethel baseball right after this on Regional Radio Sports. Hi, this is Paul Condry of the Regional Radio Sports Network. That may be my professional title, but did you know that I'm also the son of a U.S. Navy World War II veteran and a proud father of a United States Marine? Let me share with you something very close to my heart. It's called the Semper Fi Fund, and its program America's Fund, which provides immediate lifetime support for post-9/11 wounded, critically ill, and injured members of the U.S. Armed Forces, veterans, and their families to ease recovery and transition back home to their communities. The Semper Fi Fund, serving those who preserve our freedom. The basic idea that drives these efforts is simple. For as much as our heroes have sacrificed, they deserve the best care and support available in their hour of need, whenever it may occur. The Semper Fi Fund, a 4-star charity and an A+ rating, has served over 16,000 members since 2004. The Semper Fi Fund, serving those who preserve our freedom. For more information, visit them online at www.semperfifund.org. Welcome back here on the Regional Radio Sports Network. Glad you can join us here for Crossroads League Baseball here on the Breakfast Club. Mount Vernon, Bethel here today. Let's take a look at our starting lineups here in today's game. First of all, for the visitors from the Buckeye State, for Keith Veal's baseball team, he'll lead it off with junior center fielder Nick Mosier, wearing jersey number 2 and batting in that top spot. In the number 2 spot, it will be number 6, Chris Klein, the sophomore shortstop. In the number 2 spot, number 3 spot, number 42, sophomore designated hitter Jake Glover. Mosier, Klein, and Glover, 1, 2, 3. The middle of the order features number 27, Ashton Myers, the senior left fielder. Number 33, Devin Pearl, the sophomore designated hitter. and the number 7, Aaron Saul, the junior third baseman. Myers, Pearl, and Saul, respectively. Also, taking a look at the bottom of the order, it's going to be Kobe Miller, the junior first baseman. Number 13, Brant Miller, the senior second baseman. And number 24, it'll be the senior catcher, Drew Ritchie. I want to double check and make sure that I've got Devin Pearl in the right spot there. Pearl is going to be the designated hitter today, so that gives me Jake Glover. That's right, because Jake Glover's on the mound today. So Jake Glover in that number 3 spot is going to be the team's pitcher today. Now, taking a look at the Pilots defensively, it'll be Sean Luzon, Jake Wilburn, C.M. Laffey, and James Spira, the infield, third to first. The outfield from left, center, and right will be Seth Kermode, Kawambi Moss, Jake Shalaski, and it's going to be the battery of Andrew Bobeck and Mason Love. If you take a look at the stats coming into today's game for Andrew Bobeck, Bobeck pitched an inning or so yesterday, but he comes in with a record of 4 wins and 5 losses. And for Bobeck, one of the Bethel seniors, one of 5. He has a record of 4 wins and 5 losses. This will be his 15th game overall. He has started, this will be his 11th start of the season. He has 1 complete game on his resume, and he has thrown 56 2/3 innings pitched, given up 54 hits, 41 runs, 33 earned runs, 31 walks, 34 strikeouts, 9 doubles, 1 triple, 3 homers. Teams are batting at .247 against him. He has 4 wild pitches, and he's hit 4 batters. And teams are 4 for 4 in the stolen base department against him. Now, if you take a look at the Pilots lineup, it'll be Jake Wilburn, the junior shortstop, leading it off, followed by number 2 man, the talented Kawambi Moss, the junior center fielder, and in number 3 spot, Mason Love, the junior catcher. Wilburn, Moss, and Love going 1, 2, 3. The middle of the order features number 11, junior first baseman James Spira. Number 5 spot, number 13, Brandon Diss, the junior designated hitter. And number 26, Jake Shalaski, the freshman right fielder. Spira, Diss, and Shalaski, the middle of the order. The bottom of the order features number 12, senior third baseman Sean Luzon. The number 8 spot, number 22, C.M. Laffey, the junior second baseman. And in the number 9 spot, number 18, Seth Kermode, the senior left fielder. Luzon, Laffey, and Kermode. Defensively for Mount Vernon, it'll be Mosier in center, Pearl in left, Myers in right. Infield third to first, Aaron Saul, Chris Klein, Brant Miller, and Kobe Miller. And it's going to be the battery of Jake Glover and Drew Ritchie. Jake Glover, number 2 in wins in the Crossroads League, coming into today's game behind the talented youngster from Huntington, Alex McCutcheon. Let's go on over here for our opening prayer and the playing of the Star Spangled Banner.
We have to honor you through the game of baseball. We ask you to protect the players as they compete, keep them free from injury, and help them to display their talents in a way that honors you. Help us all to encourage and cheer with proper perspective in mind. Thank you for what you are doing and what you have done in our lives. In your name, amen. We ask that you remain standing as we honor America and those who serve and protect it with the playing of our national anthem.
Once again, thanks for joining us here on Regional Radio Sports for Crossroads League Baseball. As we get ready to get this one underway here, our scheduled first pitch time is at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, and certainly looking forward to getting this one underway because of the weather that is scheduled to be coming our way, and our weather coming up at game time officially. 39 degrees, humidity at 62%, winds north at 6 miles an hour, barometer 29.97, dew point 27, and the wind chill is 35. They have the new rules and regulations in regards to Crossroads League Baseball. They have the heaters on in the respective dugouts. Anytime it's 40 degrees or under, they have to have the heaters going in the dugouts today. The Pilots decked out in those old-fashioned uniforms that we're not necessarily fond of here today. Decked out with the gray slacks, but they have the blue jerseys with the gray and white along the sleeves, solid white numbers, Bethel written in white along the front, as the Mount Vernon Nazarene Cougars have gone with the gray slacks today with the dark blue jerseys with the numbers in dark green trimmed in white with MVNU in script along the front of the blue jerseys. And, of course, Mount Vernon with the blue bills today, the Pilots with the gray bills with BC. This will be the final Crossroads League game for Bethel College this year and forever, because next year then they'll be playing in the Crossroads League. It will be Bethel University. So the final game here behind the plate today for the umpires, it's going to be Howard Jackson, and Tom Roussan will be the umpire. We'll be out in behind first base right now. 327 down the left field line, 321 down the right field line, 365 in the power alleys. Old Glory out here to our immediate left. Certainly not a lot of activity from her today. We'll see how that kind of plays itself out. So the teams here today ready to go, and our first pitch from Andrew Bobeck is about ready to start this the final Crossroads League game for the Pilots this year, and it comes your way at 9:02 a.m. Eastern Time. Welcome to college baseball here from Bethel College in Mishawaka, Indiana. On the 0-1 pitch, Mosier, the center fielder, one of the most talented players in the Crossroads League. Here's a slow roller to C.M. Laffey, the second baseman, and he throws him out. 4-3 on the putout after 2 pitches. Good start for Andrew Bobeck. And that'll bring up Chris Klein. Klein, who came into this weekend's action batting .331 with 30 RBIs, total of 70 total bases, a on-base percentage at .375, a slugging percentage at .400. And the first pitch from Bobeck was a ball. Yesterday, Dante Klein had a pretty good day at the office.
That's right. 3 for 5 yesterday in the first game and 1 for 4 in the second game.
Here's your pitch. Ball hit on the nose. Center fielder is there. Kawambi Moss makes the catch in straightaway center field. So 2 up and 2 down as Klein put a charge into that one. Now to bring up Jake Glover, the sophomore pitcher today. Glover, who's got an ERA of 3.68, 8-4 overall. He'll be starting his 13th game of the season, but as a batter, a formidable presence batting from the left side, number 42. He has played in, this will be his 50th game of the season and his 49th overall start as Jake Glover takes strike 1. Glover came into this weekend's action with a batting average of .377 with 31 runs, 57 hits, 11 doubles, 3 triples, 4 homers, and an eye-popping .489 in the on-base percentage. Here's the pitch that veers off to the left and out of play. And Bobeck, early on in the count, has the advantage at 1-2. Once again, defensively, it's Luzon, Wilburn, Laffey, and Spear, the infield third to first. Kermode, Moss, and Shalaski, your outfield left, center, and right. Breaking ball just missed the mark. Now the count at 2-2, and it's the battery of Andrew Bobeck and Mason Love. Love went the distance yesterday behind the plate as he caught both games. Here's a pitch, and that'll be a base hit into right field. Bobeck left a breaking ball up in the zone, And Glover tattooed it for the first hit of the afternoon for either club. So a 2-out hit brings up the cleanup hitter, the deadly Ashton Myers, the senior left fielder. Myers yesterday, the Zanesville, Ohio product, was productive again.
That's right, 1 for 4 in the first game, 2 for 5 in the second game. Good day at the office.
Ashton Myers, the senior who came into today's action. This is his 51st game of the season. One of 4 Cougars to play in all the games they have played this year. Myers, a .387 hitter, 65 hits, 17 doubles, 3 triples, 9 home runs, .685 slugging percentage, on base at .478. He struck out 34 times and walked 22. Ball hit on the nose, base hit into center field. And that one gets past Moss, and the runner will go to third. Will be a play at second base, and they're going to send him home. There's going to be a play at the plate, and he scores. Keith Veal immediately setting the tone as Moss overran the ball, and that'll be a double and an RBI. But Jake Glover had a great jump, and it's 1-0 Mount Vernon. You can see Mount Vernon immediately setting the tone by going right at him. And that'll be an error. That'll be a base. That'll be a double, and he advances on the E8. And that will bring up Devin Pearl. And there's a pitch missing the mark, and that will be ball 1. Sophomore designated hitter. And now batting here, Pearl from the left side, the sophomore designated hitter. Takes a bender on the outside, now the count at 2-0. Pearl, a .329 hitter on the year. 35 RBIs, 3 homers, 8 doubles, and 4 triples. As he's batting here from the left side. Here's the 2-0 look. Boback delivers. This one caught the outside corner. And that's now a 2-1 count. Here's the 2-1 look from Boback. From the pause at the stretch. Here he goes on the delivery. Right back up the middle, base hit, and it's now a 2-0 ball game. Pearl with the RBI. And it's a 2-0 Cougar advantage. And that'll bring up Aaron Saul.
At bat number 7, Aaron Saul.
Saul, the third baseman.
Saul went 2 of 4 yesterday in the first game, 1 of 5 in the second game.
Now Bobeck with some struggles here after sending Mosier and Klein down early on. There's a pitch on the outside. Missing the corner is Saul. And one of those guys who's played in every ball game. Saul, a .297 hitter, 41 RBIs, 4 homers, batting from the right side. Here's a pitch on the inside corner for a strike. Now they're kind of 1-1. On deck, Kobe Miller. The 1-1 look with 2 down. 2-0. Here's an off-speed pitch. It flares off to the right and out of play. Now they're kind of 1-2.
Boback had a pretty hot start to the inning. 2 batters, 2 outs, but ever since it's been throwing pretty wild and he's paying the price now.
Here's the 1-2 look. The left-hander Boback delivers. A little high. Now the count evens up at 2-2. Cougars have won 3 straight baseball games against the Taylor the last time out. And, of course, there's a swing ball back to the screen here. And, of course, the pair of wins against the Pilots. After losing the series to Goshen, they won the first game in the Goshen series, and they lost 2 straight. And they bounced back with an 8-1 win against Taylor, and, of course, 2 big wins against the Pilots yesterday. Here's the 2-2 look with 2 down. Boback delivers. This one hit off to the right. James Spira will run out of real estate over here. And we'll come back and do it again at 2-2. Keith Veal, when he entered the league, the first 2 years he won the championship in the Crossroads League in 14 and 15. Here's one hit off the fist and out of play. And if you look at the standings in the Crossroads League, when Mount Vernon entered the league, Keith Veal's squad went 29 and 5 in 2014 in their first endeavor. Here's a ball thrown into right field by Love. Runner will advance, and that'll be an error to allow the runner to move up 90 feet. E2. So Mount Vernon, let me go back and regroup here. In 2012, Mount Vernon finished third in the league with a record of 21 and 13. In 2013, they finished third in the league at 20 and 10. And then 2014, they won the conference championship with a record of 29 and 5. 2015, they ran away with the league, going 23 and 3. Here's a swing and a miss as Aaron Saul goes down on strikes to end the inning. In the inning, 2 runs on 3 hits. There were a pair of errors. 1 man left on base. We played a half of inning of play, and it was a tough day for Boback here in the first inning with 24 pitches. But we'll be back with more of college baseball. Pilots up for the first time right after this.
They say growth is a journey and not a destination. At Teachers Credit Union, we agree. Helping our communities grow has been our mission ever since we began our journey in 1931. And supporting our members' growth has helped us to become Indiana's largest credit union. And we're just getting started. Whatever you want to grow, Teachers Credit Union is ready to help. Visit a branch or tcunet.com today. Teachers Credit Union deposits are federally insured by the NCUA, and we are an equal housing opportunity.
Welcome back here on Regional Radio Sports College Baseball this afternoon from Bethel. As I was alluding to earlier before we went to the timeout, Mount Vernon entered the Crossroads League in 2012 and ended up going 33 and 20 overall, 21 and 3 in the league. Mount Vernon in 2013 went 33 and 20, 20 and 10 in the league. And then in 2014, the Cougars just ran away from everybody, going 44 and 12 and 29 and 5 in league play. The following year, in 2015, the final standings saw the Cougars go 23 and 3 in league play and 37 and 12 overall. And then moving forward to 2016, they dropped to second place in the league at 15 and 7 and 35 and 18. And moving on to 2017, it would be Mount Vernon falling into the 4th spot, going 14 and 13 and 33 and 24 overall. And then, of course, a year ago, the team, certainly with a pretty solid effort, going 11 and 7. We'll be back with more now. With coming up is Jake Wilburn, Kawambi Moss, and Mason Love, respectively. Mount Vernon a year ago going 24 and 26 and 10 and 17 in league play. They ended up going 1 and 2 in Crossroads League tournament action. Keith Veal, what a special job he's done. A 6-time NCCAA Coach of the Year, 9-time Conference Coach of the Year. As a matter of fact, that team in '96 that he had still to this day has the highest winning percentage in the history of NAIA baseball. They went 43 and 3. They had 24 straight wins in '96. The winning percentage is .935. Here is a slow roller, and that'll be a base hit of the infield variety, as Kobe Miller and Jake Glover cannot get together on who's going to be able to make the play at first base. And the Pilots, Wilburn, the leadoff man aboard.
At bat number 10,
And that'll bring up Kalombi Moss. Moss on the season, atop the Pilot batting average with 377. He has started 37 games this season and 37 opportunities. Here's a look. Jake Glover, looking at his numbers coming into today's game. 8-4. This is his 14th start. Check that, 13th start. 2 complete games, 1 shutout, 66 innings pitched, 71 hits, 30 runs, 27 earned runs. Here's a strike. Now to kind of 1-1 to Moss. Teams are batting .281 against him. The Pilots with the leadoff man aboard is Moss with an opportunity in his customary number 2 spot. There's the runner going, and that'll be a stolen base. Jake Wilburn moves up 90 feet, and the Pilots with a runner in scoring position for Moss. Moss, who has 22 RBIs, which is 3rd on the team. Love is 26, Wathier 24, and Moss with 22 in the RBI department. Here's Glover's. Here's a comebacker right over the bag, perfectly placed. Runner advances to 3rd. Moss is retired 4-3. That'll bring up Mason Love.
Mason Love in yesterday's contest was 2-4 in the first game and 1-4 in the second game.
Love, the junior catcher, on the year batting .329. Batting from the left side. Here's one getting away from the catcher, Drew Ritchie, but at the last moment got the right pad out there to make the kick save and a beauty. Glover on the year with 3 wild pitches, and he leads the team with 11 hits batsmen. The right-hander delivers. This one's right down Main Street, just off the black, however, according to home plate umpire Howard Jackson. So the count is now 2-0. On deck, James Spira. Everybody at medium depth. Klein at short and Miller. Here's a breaking ball outside. Now the count at 3-0. Saul, Klein, Brant Miller, and Kobe Miller, the infield for Mount Vernon. The outfield, Devin Pearl, Nick Mosier, and Ashton Myers, left, center, and right. Breaking ball, a dandy there for Jake Glover. Now the count at 3-1. Here's the 3-1 look. And that'll be ball 4. So the Pilots trying to make some noise here in their first half of the frame after Mount Vernon pushed 2 across in their top half of the first. Runners at first and third. And we have a pinch runner coming into the game now for the Pilots. Rocky Beebe will be running for Mason Love here in the inning. And now it's up to James Spira. Spira, who played in the second game of the doubleheader yesterday, did not play in the first game. Here's a pitch, swing and a miss on a breaking ball. The junior first baseman, way out in front of the bender from Jake Glover. Spira came into today's action batting .161. Breaking ball. This one gets away from the catcher, but he actually sat back down on the baseball and kept it in front of him. Now the count at 1-1. On deck, junior designated hitter Brandon Diss. Mount Vernon, with a win today, could sweep the series and put themselves in a position to. Here's a breaking ball for a strike. Now the count at 1-2. Mount Vernon lost a series to Huntington in 3 games. That is their only sweep. They did lose the series to Goshen. They won 1 of the 3 opportunities there. But they've defeated everybody else, which includes wins against Marion, St. Francis, Taylor, Indiana Wesleyan. They won 2 of 3 from the red-hot Wesleyan Wildcats. Indiana Wesleyan was the preseason favorite in the league, and they have. Here is James Spear going back to the bench after striking out. Got to bring up Brandon Diss. St. Francis is the team that has been reeling. They've lost 12 straight games. They are now cemented in last place in league play. Breaking ball here to Brandon Diss. His first strike. So Glover has gone exclusively in the last 2 batters to more of his breaking stuff. There's another one. Breaking ball hit towards the first baseman. Tosses it over to the pitcher covering. And that'll do it for the Pilots in the inning. We'll go 3-1 on the putout in the inning for the Pilots. No runs. There was 1 hit. There were no errors and a pair left on the paths. At the end of a inning of play, 2-0. Mount Vernon will be back with more Bethel baseball right after this.
Never give in. Never give in. Never, never, never. In nothing, great or small, large or petty, never give in except to convictions of honor and good sense.
Winston Churchill's immortal words stirred an entire country in the face of certain defeat. Today, these words give each of us the courage to reach for our own victories.
Never give in. Never give in. Never, never, never.
Commitment. Pass it on. From the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com.
Welcome back here on Regional Radio Sports. Glad you can join us. College baseball today being presented in part by our friends at the Gates Automotive Group. Gates gives you the biggest selection of new and used vehicles in Michiana. Choose from 500 new Chevys and Toyotas and 1,000 pre-owned vehicles at Gates Chevy World, Gates Toyota, Gates of Granger, and the Gates of Elkhart. Check with any Gates Automotive Group staff member or go to www.gatesautomotive.com for more information. The Mount Vernon Nazarene University Cougars will send Kobe Miller, Brant Miller, and Drew Ritchie, that's 7, 8, and 9, respectively, through the turnstiles here at Jenkins Stadium. 2 runs on 3 hits and no errors for the visitors from Ohio. 0, 1, and 2 for the homestanding Pilots.
Number 17, Kobe Miller.
Kobe Miller on the season, playing in his 28th game of the year. This is his 11th start, batting .333, and he takes strike 1 here from senior Andrew Boback. Pitch on the inside. This one misses the mark. Now they're kind of 1-1. 34th at bat of the season for Kobe. Here's one hit on the nose right towards the right fielder. Jake Shalaski makes the catch to retire Kobe Miller.
At bat number 13.
And that'll bring up Brant Miller. Andrew Boback, one of 5 Bethel seniors, along with Josh Gillum, Sean Luzon, Seth Kermode, and Josh King. Boback, who came into today's game with an overall career record of 12 wins and 13 losses. This is his 60th game. He pitched in 1 game yesterday as a pitcher. This is his 30th career start. And for Boback, one of the 2 Bethel seniors who are pitchers, Josh King, who pitched yesterday. Here's the ball hit on the nose, and that'll be picked up by Kawami Moss. He's going to throw it in quickly to second base, and that'll be a base hit for Brant Miller, coming from that number 8 spot in the lineup.
Drew Ritchie.
Now they'll move to the number 9 hitter in the lineup, senior catcher Drew Ritchie. Ritchie playing in his 19th game of the season. This is his 37th bat of the season, 9 hits, 5 runs batted in, slugging percentage of .250. He has 1 walk. Here's one hit to left field, right into the Met Seth Kermode for the second out on the first pitch. That'll move us to the top of the order, and junior center fielder Nick Mosier.
At bat number 2, Christian Bacon.
Nick Mosier, the 5'10", 160-pounder from Sunbury, Ohio, who prepped at Big Walnut High. Bobeck delivers. Mosier, who has been one of those everyday guys for Coach Keith Veal, playing in his 50th game of the year. This is 48th start. Bobeck delivers. Pitch a little high. Now the count at 2-0 now to the Cougar leadoff man. Runner still at first base in the person of Brant Miller. Here's the pitch. That one came back and hit the catcher Smith. And now it's a 2-1 count. Home plate umpire Howard Jackson cleaning off that plate. Andrew Bobeck has some conversations with Tom Rousson, the infield umpire. I don't know if it's a question about can he blow on his hand or not with the cold temperatures. Certainly that would be acceptable at this time of the year, the way we're at right now. Here's a breaking ball for a strike, a dandy of a pitch there from Bobeck. Now the count is even at 2-2. Nick Mosier from the left side hoping to extend the inning. His club already leading 2-0. Here's a fastball. He fouls it back and out of play. On deck hoping for an opportunity to bat in the second is Chris Klein, the sophomore. Bobeck, the lefty, looks over to first base. He delivers this ball, hit back to the screen. A competitive at bat right now going on between Nick Mosier and Andrew Bobeck. This will be the 7th pitch of the at bat. The southpaw looking over to first. High leg kick, he delivers. Just missed outside. Now the count is full at 3-2. This will be the 8th pitch of the at bat for Mosier. Bobeck delivers. Pitch, ball 4. That is a great at bat for Nick Mosier. Now runners at first and second. And that'll bring up shortstop Chris Klein. Klein, a 5'10", 150-pound sophomore from Millersburg, Ohio.
Chris Klein.
Went to high school at Berlin Highland High. Once again, Cougars threatening with 2 down. This is exactly where we were in the first inning. Bobeck got the first 2 outs, and then he ran into some troubles. Now Chris Klein takes strike 1.
Bobeck seems to be following a pattern throughout these first 2 innings. 2 quick outs and then struggling to get that 3rd out.
Yep, that's been the tail of the tape, as they say thus far. The left-hander delivers. This one inside. Now the count at 1-1. The Cougar pitcher, Jay Glover, who's also the number 3 man in the lineup, is waiting on deck. Bobeck delivers. This one inside. Now to count it 2-1. Don't want to lose him here. Need to close the door here. You do not want to have Glover, Myers, and Pearl have an opportunity. They've already beat you up already the first time they've seen Bobeck. Andrew from the stretch looks over his shoulder. He's coming home. Here's the delivery. Slow roller towards the shortstop. Picks it up, throws, and he's safe. There's no arm strength from Jake Wilburn to get the guy on the slow roller. And just great hustle down the line by Chris Klein. That's an infield base hit. And now the bags are loaded full of Cougars. And the Pilots in a heap of trouble now as they've set the stage for what is potentially a monster inning for Mount Vernon.
Bobeck has to close things now, or this is a disaster inning for the Pilots.
Glover, who had a base hit and eventually scored the first run in the first inning. The lefty against the lefty matchup. This pitch on the outside for ball one. Ashton Myers is waiting on deck. 5 hits now in the first 2 innings off of Bobeck. Glover hits one into right field, base hit. 1 run will score. 2 runs will score, and just like that, it's a 4-0 ball game. Jake Glover, another base hit. He is now 2 for 2. This time, he'll pick up an RBI as Brent Miller comes around and touches them all. Nick Mosier, who had that great at bat, that 8-pitch at bat, and was able to pick up that walk. Chris Klein scoots on over to the third. And now runners at the corners, still with 2 down. And a pitch runner. It's Toby Walker is running now for Glover. Here's the first pitch. Now here to Ashton Myers. Myers, which is the big bat in the lineup for Coach Keith Veal. They've done some damage already, this group has. Runners at the corners. Here's a dribbler off to the right, and that'll even the card at 1-1.
Myers is not the guy that they want at the bat right now.
Exactly.
2 guys on each corner, and
so Myers, last time at bat, had a double with an RBI. Myers, who with 56 RBIs on the season, can really run her off and going. And there's a stolen base for Toby Walker, who's running as a pinch runner for Glover. Now runners in scoring position with 2 at second and third. Myers looking at the 1-2 offering here from Bobeck. Bo needs to shut it down now. The lefty delivers. Oh my, ball hit deep to left field. That ball is gone. Ashton Myers goes yard, and the Cougars have not been affected by the weather, the early wake-up call, but they have certainly given Andrew Bobeck a wake-up call in the early stages of this one on the home run. That'll bring 3 more across here in the inning and a 5 spot, and it's now 7-0.
At bat, number 33, Devin.
Myers, who put a big bat on that one. That is his 10th home run of the season. And now with 58 RBIs, that'll bring up Devin Pearl. Bobeck with his last start of his career here at Bethel, getting rocked in the first 2 innings. And Devin Pearl will try to continue. And once again, this is all with 2 outs. Now the count at 0-2. Devin Pearl, who had a base hit and an RBI in the first inning. Breaking ball fouled off to the left. 0-2 is the count. Ashton Myers, wow, put a charge in that ball. Here's the ball hit. Short left field. Could be trouble. And the Pilots collide out there, and the runner ends up on second base with a double. As the hit parade continues, that'll bring up Aaron Saul. Saul will be the 9th man to bat in the inning.
Saul in yesterday's contest went 2 of 4 in the first game and 1 of 5 in the second game.
Now with the runner in scoring position, Saul, the junior third baseman. A youngster from Wooster, Ohio, the 6', 195-pounder, takes strike one from Bobek. Still no activity in the BC bullpen. 7-0 Mount Vernon here in the top of the second. We mentioned at the top of the show in the Seth Zartman pregame show as well as yesterday's broadcast. Here's the ball hit off to the right and out of play. Mount Vernon came into the series having hit double digits in runs scored 15 times. They moved that up to 17, and they're on their way right now to make it 18. Ground ball, third baseman backhands it, throws it across the diamond, and he's safe. Error on the third baseman. No authority whatsoever on the throw by the third baseman, Sean Luzon.
At bat number 17, Kobe Miller.
And now we'll move to the 10th man to bat in the inning. And the guy who got the party started to begin with. And that's going to be Kobe Miller. Number 17 is batting here from the left side with runners at first and third. Andrew Bobek, who got the inning started with retiring 2 of the first 3. And since then, it's been the hit parade. There's another stolen base. Now they got a pickoff attempt, and the Pilots nearly throw it away. So Saul steals second base. The runners at second and third with 2 down. Five hits in the inning for Mount Vernon to go along with the 5 runs. Bobek, the southpaw, delivers. Ball gets away, pass ball, run scores. It's now 8-0. As Pearl scores on the pass ball. And Aaron Saul now is 90 feet away from home plate on third base. And Kyle Boynton is going to go out and talk to Bobek. We're going to take a quick timeout. We're going to thank our good friends at the Gates Automotive Group who make this happen. During Gates Automotive annual No sale, nobody makes car buying easier or cheaper. For a limited time, there is no down payment required, no first payment required, and no last payment required on 20 of the hottest selling used vehicles on sale at Gates Chevy World, Gates Toyota, Gates of Granger, and Gates of Elkhart. Check with any of the Gates staff member for more information. As Kyle Boynton is discussing pleasantries. Just a quick programming reminder, we're slated on Tuesday for a 4 p.m. start for Senior Day festivities. It's a 9-inning game that is coming up on Tuesday. Pilots will be in action here against Aquinas. Weather pending. If that game does not happen that day, then that is going to do it. The Pilot season will come to an end, and that pitch is going to be ball 4. So Kobe Miller, who walks in his second appearance of the second inning, and that will get it into the hands of Brant Miller, the number 8 hitter on the lineup. Earlier in this inning, he had a base hit and scored the first run of this second inning. So runners at first and third. Here's one off the fist from Brant Miller and out of play. Pilots have been their own worst enemy the entire series with countless pass balls, wild pitches, base running errors, and the pitching has been, here's a throw down, trying to get the runner in and a run will score. Terrible decision by the Pilots. The run will score before the play concludes. That was just a terrible decision, as Saul will score the run, and in the inning for the Cougars, they'll end up with 7 runs in the inning on 5 hits and a total of 1 error. And at the end of 2 innings of play, 9-0 our score. Mount Vernon in command. We'll be back with more right after this on Regional Radio Sports.
This is boot camp. This is the real thing now. You've never done anything so hard in your life. You don't understand how you can finish. It takes inner strength and desire to become a Marine. When I finished, I was like, I did it. The moment I will never forget is when this drill instructor that I admire so much comes up to me and said, "Good morning, Marine."
PFC Summer Volkman became a Marine. Can you? Visit Marines.com or call 1-800-MARINES.
To be able to just get my son to St. Jude and not think about how we will pay for it, it just takes so much weight off of my family. St. Jude allowed me to focus on being a mom to Bryce. And sometimes I'm just in awe of the impact St. Jude has, not only on this community, but the world.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Welcome back here on Regional Radio Sports. Paul County along with Dante Stanton as we move to the home half of the second inning. Mount Vernon, for the second consecutive day, has a 7-run inning. Leading off for the Pilots, it'll be Shalaski, followed by Sean Luzon and CM Laffey.
Not a great start to the inning here. Pilots are down 0-2.
Here's a pitch hit towards the third baseman, gobbles it up and throws an absolute laser beam across the diamond at Aaron Saul. Easy 5-3 put out for the first out. That'll bring up Sean Luzon, the senior third baseman. All right, we're going to tell you what, Dante, hand that headset to Andrew, and I'm just going to put him on the air so he can get the Mercy Rule qualification instead of. All right, so what do you got for me, brother?
According to the Crossroads League guidelines, each 9-inning game will have a 10-run rule in effect from the 7th inning on.
7th inning on. Okay, so it comes down to weather or the Mercy Rule unless the Pilots' bats wake up here. That's the plain and simple of it. Thank you, sir. As now they're kind of 1-1 here to Sean Luzon. CM Laffey waiting in the wings. Well, this Mount Vernon team, we knew going into this. And once again, belaboring the fact, when you've scored double-digit runs in 17 games, and now you're on the verge of making it 18, you are a powerful team. There's a pitch. And now the count of 3-1. Defensively, Saul, Klein, Brant Miller, and Kobe Miller, infield third to first. By the way, to close out that last inning, it was a 2-4-3 put out, and there's a strike as Luzon goes down. But just to kind of go back and reiterate in that last frame, the Pilots were more concerned about the out than they were about the run scoring. Their bottom line is they should have taken, and here is Luzon striking out. They should have been concerned about the run scoring versus trying to record the out. The run scored before the out was recorded, and that's the reason there is, instead of having an 8-0 lead, it's now a 9-0 lead.
I think it was a great move by Miller, slowing down in between the bases, making sure he could get that guy home.
No question about it. It was just a great base running play. And Keith Field was out there directing traffic to make sure that was the case. CM Laffey has, and here's a pitch. Now they're kind of 2-0 to CM. Laffey, the junior from Fairview, New Jersey, transferred in from El Camino College. The right-hander delivers. Ball hit on the nose, and that'll be the first hit of the inning for the Pilots. The earlier hit in the ballgame was off the bat of Jake Wilburn. So a 2-out base hit gives an opportunity for Seth Kermode to bat in the ninth inning. 9 runs on 8 hits and no errors for the team from the Buckeye State. 0, 2, and 3 from the team from the Hoosier State. Slow roller here from Seth Kermode back. Counted 0-1. Jake Wilburn waiting in the wings for BC. Now they're kind of 1-1 on the pitch. Here's your 1-1 look. Pilots off and running. Slow roller. Second baseman will make the easy 4-3 putout to end the inning. In the inning, no runs. There was 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left, or checked out, 1 man left on base. Let's give you the line score through 2 innings of play as we move to the third. Mount Vernon, 9 runs on 8 hits and no errors. Pilots, no runs on 2 hits and 3 errors. We'll be back with more of college baseball, Crossroads Leagues now, right after this on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
It took me a long time to be able to say Chandler has cancer, because that is such a scary word. When St. Jude finds something that works well with a certain cancer, they share that with everybody. And knowing that we don't have to pay for all of the medical expenses, that's huge. We just have to worry about helping Chandler, and he's just my heart.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Whatever you want to grow, Teachers Credit Union is ready to help. Visit a branch or tcunet.com today. Teachers Credit Union. Financial solutions. Teachers Credit Union deposits are federally insured by the NCUA, and we are an equal housing opportunity.
Welcome back here on Regional Radio Sports. Welcome to Crossroads League Baseball here from Mishawaka, Indiana. Right now, the weather holding firm with us. We're glad that you could be a part of our broadcast, and we thank you for joining us. And looking at the weather app, the green is nearing Valparaiso, so it's about an hour out. So the question is how many innings will we get? Keep in mind the 5-inning would make it an official game. And also, as Andrew Bowen mentioned earlier, the mercy rule could be in effect as well, too, if Mount Vernon continues the onslaught of hitting that they've had against Andrew Bobeck. Still nobody warming up in the BC pen, as Bobeck is going to have to finish this thing out. Leading it off will be Brant Miller, followed by Drew Ritchie and Nick Mosier, respectively, as we're here in the third frame. And here's a bunt attempt popped up. Andrew Bobeck with the catch. Got a little snow cone on that one right there at the last minute. And that'll be the first out of the inning as Brant Miller is retired. Nice hustle play by the Bethel pitcher coming off that hill quickly. And they've retired Brant Miller for the first time today. That'll bring up Drew Ritchie, the senior catcher. Ritchie, wearing jersey number 24, hails from Zanesville, Ohio. Prepped at Tri-Valley High School, a 6'1", 180-pound senior right-hander. Bobeck, the left-hander, delivers. That ball hit on the nose, a little squibber. Second baseman, Sam Laffey, throws him out. 4-3 on the put out. So 2 up and 2 down, but we've been here before. Drew Ritchie is retired. That'll bring up the top of the Cougar order and the dangerous Nick Mosier. Mosier officially 0 for 1 today. However, walked on a great at bat back in the second inning. Excuse me. He had an 8-pitch at bat, which extended the inning. And if you look back on doing the little things, and I know that we, as coaches, we talk about the little things all the time. this was one of those little things because the 8-pitch at bat where he coaxed a walk opened up the floodgates for the ensuing next 7 runs. Had he struck out or done something other than that, the whole inning changed because of a great disciplined at bat by Nick Mosier. There's a pitch going outside. Now the count at 2-1. Chris Klein hoping to bat here in the third, waiting on deck. Mosier, the left-hander, hits one off to the left. Left fielder's got a beat on it, and Seth Kermode makes the catch to retire the side. We haven't seen that, and we haven't said this, I don't think, in 2 days. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. Pilots half and number third coming your way right after this on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
Question. When you walk into the boardrooms of the most successful companies here in Indiana, who do you meet? When you're working for a mover and shaker with strong ties to our community, who are they? When you encounter a group of people eager to roll up their sleeves, who are you most likely to work with? Answer. Men and women who played high school sports. Education-based high school sports give us more than athletes we can root for. They give us leaders we can depend on. Taking the initiative, being a good teammate, sacrificing personal glory for the greater good. These are qualities we expect of our leaders, and they're all being cultivated in the high schools right here in Indiana. Question. So where will we find tomorrow's leaders? Answer. High school sports.
This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Welcome back here on Regional Radio Sports. Glad you can be a part of the broadcast this afternoon from Mishawaka, Indiana. Welcome you to the Breakfast Club. I'm Paul Counter along with Dante Stanton. Also want to thank our main man, Andrew Bowen, for helping out here today, getting things together. Now the count at 1-0 to the leadoff man, Jake Wilburn. Also, special thanks to my hero in the baseball broadcast booth all season long, Landy Kaufman, gets a high five. Here's a one-hopper, and the Olay play by the first baseman, Kobe Miller. The ball came up, popped him in the mitt, couldn't corral it, and then when he looked around for the ball, couldn't find it, and that'll be an error on the Cougar first baseman.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Paul, but that doesn't happen too often with a fundamentally structured team like Mount Vernon.
Yeah, that is correct. And if you look at the numbers for Miller on the season, is now Kawambi Moss is there. Kobe Miller, with only his 4th error of the season, he has an eye-popping .957 fielding percentage. And that just doesn't happen very often. It's just one of those things where he took his eye off the ball at the last minute. He got a little bit of a snow cone and couldn't corral it. And now Kawambi Moss with a runner at first to try to move his teammate along. Now he's ahead in the count at 2-0. Mason Love on deck. Pilots have been able to get hits from Wilburn and Laffey. Here's a quick toss over to first base. Ball gets away from the first baseman, Kobe Miller, but only about 12 feet or so away. And with Wilburn on first base, sliding back, he couldn't get up to advance. Here's a pitch back to the screen. Now the count at 2-1.
Boy, I'm not sure I'll ever get used to that.
You need to explain to our listening audience what just happened because they're not going to understand what you just said. The ball came right back to the screen right at us, and here's a base hit into center field. Moss moves Wilburn over to the third, and Pilots with runners at the corners with nobody out here in the bottom of the third. What Dante was saying is the foul pitch came all the way back here to us. As Harry Carey was so fond of saying to Steve Stone in the broadcast booth for many, many years, come out from underneath the table, Steve, I'll protect you. And now they runners at first and third. As now it's Mason Love up So the Pilots hoping to take advantage of that miscue by the Cougar first baseman Love, going after a nasty-looking pitch there from Jake Glover. Swings and misses for strike one. Here's a quick toss over to first base. This is something that never ceases to amaze me, and we've talked about this time and time again. You have a 9-run lead. Runners at first and third, nobody out. Why are you throwing the ball to first base? Let the guy steal second base. Who cares? You're going to open yourself up for a big inning if that ball doesn't go over there. Here's the 0-2 pitch now here to Love. Here's the pitch. Outside, now the count at 1-2. James Spira waiting on deck for the Pilots to get his at bat here in this third frame. 9-0 in favor of Mount Vernon here in the third. Home plate umpire, that time Howard Jackson, called time. Once again, 1-2 count here for Mason Love.
Seen a bit of a pattern from Glover so far. Couple wild outside balls and then some fantastic breaking pitches.
Here's one hit on the nose to right field. That ball is going to carry, and that ball is off the base of the fence. 1 run will score. Moss is going home, and will there be a play? And there will not be a play at the plate. It's now a 9-2 ball game as Mason Love comes through in a big way. And it's now the Pilots making some noise here in the third off of Jake Glover. So Love with the double and 2 RBIs. And Mason now on the season with a team high 28 ribbies. And that'll bring up James Spira. Still nobody out here in the third inning. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but we saw this yesterday. The Pilots were down 14-3 and came back and scored 7 runs of their own in the 6th inning. Here's a quick toss down to second base. Runner back easily. And now Spira zeroed in after the throw down to second base, looking at a 1-1 count. He struck out in the first inning. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball, beauty. Broke the bender off right at the last minute. Now the count at 1-2. James Spira. Bluffton, Indiana, transferred in from IPFW. Looking at that pitch here, breaking ball just missed from Glover that time. Now the count even on the card at 2-2. Here's a pitch a little high. Now the count at 3-2. The 3-2 look here now from Jake Glover. Matched up against James Spira, and he struck him out. Pulled the string a little bit there, and that'll be the first out of the inning. That'll bring up Brandon Diss.
At bat number 13, Brandon Diss.
Brandon Diss batting from the left side. Pitches in the dirt. Nice butterfly save there for Drew Ritchie. And the count at 1-0. Runner at second. Pilots have pushed across a pair here in the third inning. They trail 9-2. Glover, the right-hander, delivers. Slow roller, foul off to the right. Now the count at 1-1. Wind a non-factor thus far, but the rain's getting close. You're going to get the radar. Here's a breaking ball hit to the right side, and that's an easy 4-3 put out for Brent Miller to Kobe Miller. Runner advances 90 feet. And Rocky Beebe, who's running over there for Mason Love. And that'll bring up Jake Shalaski. Nick Mosier about 6 paces to the left of the bag in center field. Breaking ball starting it off. Beautiful pitch for Jake Glover on Jake Shalaski. And just absolutely froze Shalaski. Now the count at 0-1. His best stuff has been his breaking stuff. There's no question about it. Another breaking ball. This time a little high. Now the count at 1-1. Pilots have picked up a pair of runs here. Both of them are going to be under. Here's a comebacker. Look what I found, says the pitcher, Jake Glover, and that'll end the inning. In the inning for the Pilots, they were able to pick up a pair of runs on 2 hits, and there was 1 costly error and 1 left on base. And at the end of 3 complete innings of play, let's read the line score as is. 9 runs on 8 hits and 1 error for Mount Vernon. 2 runs on 4 hits and 3 errors for the Bethel Pilots. So far for Jake Glover, working hard and durable thus far with 57 pitches. We'll take a quick timeout, come back with more of Crossroads League Baseball here from Mishawaka, Indiana. Cougars 9, Pilots 2 on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
Question. When you walk into the boardrooms of the most successful companies here in Indiana, who do you meet? Answer. Men and women who played high school sports. Education-based high school sports give us more than athletes we can root for. They give us leaders we can depend on. Question. So where will we find tomorrow's leaders? Answer. High school sports.
This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association. The debate about sports specialization by high school athletes continues. Some argue that high school athletes who play one sport all year long have a better...
All right, we got to come back with you as we moving right along here. So it's time to pick up the pace here. We're moving to the 4th inning. It'll be Chris Klein, Jake Glover, and Ashton Myers to lead it off. Chris Klein, the sophomore shortstop, batting here in the 4th inning. His club on top and in command 9-2.
2 quick strikes here for Bobek. See if he can make it 3.
Klein, 1 for 2 today. Base hit and a run score in that 7-run second. Ground ball, third baseman picks it up and throws one across the diamond. Maybe the best throw we've seen by the Bethel third baseman, Sean Luzon. A lot of mustard behind that baseball, and that'll be the first out of the inning. Good to see that one. 5-3 on the putout officially, and that'll bring up the pitcher and the talented Jake Glover. Glover has had a monster year for Mount Vernon, both pitching as well as batting. Glover batting .377, a slugging percentage of .570. And the last time that he was at bat, he had a base hit and had a couple of RBIs. He's 2 for 2 today and 2 runs scored. And now the count at 1-1 to the big fella. Glover, a 6'1", 240-pounder, prepped at Carlisle High School and calls home Miamisburg, Ohio. Ground ball to the first baseman, and he boots it. Oh, they're going to get him. Oh, my. James Spira got a break there as him and Bobek. Boy, that was a close call there to make it 3-1 on the putout.
That was an impressive play by Bobek. keeping his balance.
Yeah, absolutely. He did a good job of hustling over.
At bat, number 27.
You work on that
Ashton
stuff
Myers.
all the time in the spring to make sure that when you go to those southern trips, to make sure you're covering the bag. Here's Ashton Myers. Myers 2 for 2 today. 4 RBIs. The last time he hit one, it was on its way to John Young Middle School. Now the count 1-1 to number 27. 1-1 look here. Here's the pitch from Bobek. This one on the outside corner. He painted it there. Now the kind of 1-2. And Bobek gets through the heart of this order. It will be, here's a slow roller to the second baseman. Laffey over here, and he does so. 4-3. Good job for Andrew Bobek. You could have packed it home. You could have pouted. You didn't do that. You came back and you fought through it, and you sent him down 3 up and 3 down for the second consecutive inning. Bobek now with 81 pitches, showing his true test of character. Good for Andrew. And at the end of 3.5 innings of play, our score reads Mount Vernon 9, Bethel 2. More things coming your way after this.
The debate about sports specialization by high school athletes continues. Some argue that high school athletes who play one sport all year long have a better chance of landing a lucrative pro contract. But that's simply not true. In fact, 30 of the 32 first-round picks in last year's NFL draft played more than one sport in high school. Of the 32 players drafted, 22 also participated in high school track and field. 19 also played basketball. Some also played baseball and lacrosse. What's the path to success for high school athletes here in Indiana, no matter what their goals might be? Study hard, always do your best, and if you can, play more than one sport in high school. This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Welcome back here to Bethel in Mishawaka, Indiana. This will be the final broadcast in the Crossroads League for the Bethel College Pilots. Next time around, as we come back with you for baseball next year, or for our spring or for our fall sports, it'll be Bethel University. So the Pilots trying to close things out here in a positive nature. You've got some work to do. They're a 9-2 trailer, and due up for BC will be Sean Luzan, CM Laffey, and Seth Kermode. Glad you could be a part of this one as we move here into the home half of the fourth. Luzon struck out the last time he fouls one back to the screen here. So he's in the hole at 0-1. Sean, who at this stage, coming into the final weekend series, batting 196, and now he's in a 0-2 hole. On deck, Laffey, CM Laffey batting 198. Here's the pitch by Glover, and that'll be a ball. Now to cut it 2-1. The bottom of the Bethel order has struggled hitting the baseball. Laffey at 198, Luzon at 196, and Seth Kermode at 200. Here the 2-2 looking here now for Luzon. The right-hander delivers, and strike 3. Second consecutive strikeout, and for Sean Luzon, the 14th time he has struck out. Check that, the 15th time he struck out this season. Jake Shalaski is the dubious leader in that department with 34 strikeouts. Now CM Laffey, who had a base hit the last time at bat. If you look at the Bethel everyday lineup that we are talking about you today, everybody is back with the exception of Luzon and Kermode. There's the ball hit off to the right here and hits the top of the hitting complex over here. Now the count at 0-2 here to Laffey. Laffey will be back. Shalaski's a freshman, Brandon Diss a junior, Spira a junior, Mason Love a junior, Kawambi Moss a junior, and Jake Wilburn a junior. Here's your 0-2 look. Breaking ball a little high. See him off. He just ducked out of the way on that one. But you think that's crazy. Look at the Mount Vernon lineup. Only 3 seniors in the current lineup for Keith Veal. 3 of them are pretty good, though. One of them being Ashton Myers. They're going to be holding a big party when Ashton Myers graduates across the Crossroads League. He has been a pain in the backside of Crossroads League baseball coaches for 4 years. He has been a tremendous talent. Here's the 2-2 look. Laffey fouls it back to the screen. Count remains at 2-2. Here's the 2-2 look. Delivery from Jake Glover. The high leg kick breaking ball. Foul back to the screen. Laffey once again staying alive. This will be the 7th pitch in his at bat against Jake Glover. He's coming breaking ball. Well, yes. Nope, he goes fastball and misses. Now to count it 3-2. This is one of those at bats. We saw this earlier, how the one at bat can change everything. The same thing happened with Nick Mosier in the 2nd inning. Here's the pitch. Foul back again. Good job by Bethel's number 22 to stay alive. Seth Kermode waiting in the wings. The 3-2 look as Jake Glover, the sophomore. He winds up. Here's the pitch. Ball hit to the hole. And a solid fundamental play over there by Chris Klein and Kobe Miller. 6-3 on the putout. But once again, a good job of battling out there by the number 8 hitter in the lineup, C.M. Laffey. A 9-pitch at bat. And that'll bring up Seth Kermode. Number 9 hitter in the lineup. So 2 up and 2 down for Jake Glover. Here's the pitch. Oh, he paints the outside corner with a fastball. Dandy pitch there from Jake Glover. And the count at 0-1. Pitch this time missed on the outside corner. Now the count at 1-1. Glover trying to pick up the pace here. Here's the windup. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball. Misses the mark. Now the count at 2-1. The defensive lineup for Mount Vernon features Pearl, Mosier, and Myers, your outfield, left, center, and right, in case you're just joining us. Kobe Miller, Brant Miller, Chris Klein, and Aaron Saul, the infield 1st through 3rd, and the battery of Jake Glover and Drew Ritchie, as that last pitch was fouled off to the left near the dugout. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. As Seth Kermode goes down on strikes. 4 innings are complete here from Bethel in Mishawaka, Indiana. 4 runs on 8 hits and 1 error. Check that. 9 runs on 8 hits and 1 error. 2 runs on 4 hits and 3 errors. Glover now with 77 pitches. I need to get my glasses fixed. We'll be back with more right after this on Regional Radio Sports.
Honey, isn't it amazing?
What?
The sacrifice, the dedication, the grit. I mean, they really set an example, don't they?
Oh, well, no question. Today's high school athletes are truly special.
Not the athletes.
Well, who?
The officials.
Oh.
Today's student athletes are truly special. But there's something pretty great about the men and women who officiate their games, too. Like the way they're giving back to their communities. Officiating is a terrific way to stay in shape, meet new people, and stay connected to the game you love. But the biggest reason of all? We need more qualified high school officials here in Indiana. And without them, the rest of us would have a whole lot less to cheer about. High school games need officials. High school sports need you.
Great call, Rob.
Yeah.
Interested in becoming a licensed high school official? Go to highschoolofficials.com to learn more and begin the application process.
Welcome back here to Bethel College in Mishawaka, Indiana. Paul Condry along with Dante Stanton. Once again, a special thanks to Landon Kaufman, who's been with me in the broadcast booth all baseball season long. Great to have him up here, keeping us involved in what is going on. Once again, a cool, crisp morning here. Here's the ball popped up by the leadoff man here for the Cougars. That sky-high pop-up from Devin Pearl is caught by the shortstop. And check me now if I can, because if my numbers are right, that is 7 consecutive batters sent packing by Andrew Bobek. And the first pitch now here to Aaron Saul. Saul struck out in the first, reached on an air, stole a base, and scored a run in that 7-run. Here's the ball sent sky high. Mason Loves comes back to the screen, and he runs out of real estate and just mistimed the ball. We've seen that issue the entire weekend, Landon, when it's all said and done. We've not seen a catcher fundamentally find the ball. And at least the 5th time, I'm thinking. Yeah, I think so. We saw it yesterday a handful of times. I don't know if guys are having a hard time picking it up because of the sky or whatever the case may be, but once again, that breathes life into a potential hitter. Now the count at 2-1 here to Saul. Here's a pitch. Now the count at 3-1.
We talked about Bobek's impressive play over the last 2 innings. I mean, over the last 2 innings, only 19 pitches, and that's half of what he threw in the 2nd inning alone. So he's really picking it up, and like you said, seven in a row. Here's a
base on balls, and you jinxed him there, Dante, because now that'll end that string.
Just when I start talking.
So the point about it is that if you make the play right here in the foul ball, this walk doesn't happen. And now what you've done is you've kept the door ajar now for an inning to happen. And Kobe Miller, who walked the last time and was erased on that 2-4-3 pickle in the 7-run 2nd inning. We're here in the 5th, 9-2, Mount Vernon. There's a breaking ball. Ball 1 now to Miller. Kobe Miller from Millersburg, Ohio. Wearing number 17, batting from the left side. Nice lead here by Saul at second base. Ball fouled back. Now the count at 1-1. Kobe Miller on the year came into today's game, or this weekend's action, with 4 ribbies, a .333 hitter. Here's a runner off and going. There's another stolen base for the Cougars. We saw the Cougars, I believe, with 4 stolen bases in 1 inning in that 7-run inning yesterday, if I recall. And when I think about it, I have to go back and look at the score sheet, but that was something that as that play kind of developed. And now this makes it a 2-2 count here to Kobe Miller. Here's the 2-2 pitch with 1 down, runner at second. Andrew Bobek, the southpaw, delivers. This one missed the mark. Now the count at 3-2.
Bobek needs to strike out right now to gain a little confidence about that man on second base and really keep things going.
Here's the 3-2 look with 1 down. Bobek looks over his left shoulder. A couple nods there. He's coming home. Ball sky high. Love back near the screen. This time he's able to grab it. And here's a quick toss down to second base. Now here's a situation. What could have potentially happened. Sean Luzon, who's the third baseman, who came over here to help out Mason Love. That allowed third base to remain vacant. All the runner has to do is tag because there's nobody over there to make a play. Fortunately, the Pilots are able to get away with that, so that'll be a foul fly to the catcher. That's for the second out. But it's just some of those little things. Had the base run. That was really a base running error. That's one of the few ones we've seen. As Brant Miller. It's not the fact that Keith Veal's club made an error. It's just one of those things where they pushed the edge of that envelope, they could have gone the next step.
It's like you said, had the catcher picked up the pop fly earlier in the inning, and would have been over already.
Here's the ball hit off to the right, but the play is if Andrew Bobeck goes over to third base and covers the bag, then it's kind of a moot point. But what you've done is you've got yourself in a situation. Not everybody had all the moving parts going in the right direction. Once again, that's situational baseball. That's the difference between teams winning games and losing games in one-run games. Obviously, this is a 9-2 ball game. It's a moot point. But if it's a one-run game, that could totally change the direction of the game if it was the case. So Brant Miller now looking at a 1-1 scenario. Miller had a base hit and scored a run in the second. Flew out to the pitcher the last time at bat. Here's a ground ball to the third baseman. Gobbles it up, throws, gets him at first base. 5-3 on the putout, so the walk becomes harmless. No runs, no hits, no errors. One Cougar left on base. 4.5 are in the books from Bethel. 9-2 in favor of the Cougars of Mount Vernon Nazarene University. Bobeck, 96 pitches through 5. We'll be back after this.
Meet Josh.
Hi, everybody.
Josh is a high school basketball player, solid shooter, great teammate.
Hey, don't forget my tenacious D.
And he's my son.
Uh-huh.
So, what does Josh do to be the best basketball player he can be?
I play tennis.
Studies show that student athletes here in Indiana who play more than one high school sport are more likely to excel. Tennis does more than improve Josh's conditioning. It gives him a fresh competitive outlet, reduces the risk of injury by cross-training, and introduces him to different coaching techniques and new friends.
Don't get me wrong, hoops are my first love. Tennis just gives me a little break.
So when the new season begins, Josh isn't burned out on basketball. He's eager to play. And you can see the difference in his game.
This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Welcome back here on Regional Radio Sports as we move to the home half of the fifth inning. A 7-run second inning has catapulted the Mount Vernon Nazarene University Cougars to a 9-2 lead. However, the Pilots have kept them off the score sheet for the last 3 innings. Now the Pilots are hoping to chip away against Jake Glover as they'll send the top of the order at Mr. Glover. Going 1, 2, 3 here. Wilburn, Moss, and Love respectively here. I'm Paul Condry along with Dante Stanton. Landon Kaufman as well this afternoon here or this morning. Got to keep getting that. I think is this our first morning game of the year? I think it is. Man, just not used to getting in this repetition thing. So good morning. Here's the ball hit off to the left and out of play. Now here is Wilburn. Wilburn's reached base twice, reached on an air, scored a run. Had a base hit, stole a base in the first. He's been a busy guy in the leadoff spot as he's batting here in the fifth inning. There's a breaking ball, a dandy. Now to count it 1-2. Once again, the best pitch for sophomore Jay Glover has been his breaking stuff. Here's a pitch getting away. That one bounced and hit the catcher, Drew Ritchie, in the right thigh. That one smarts a little bit. Now to count it 2-2. Wilburn batting from the left side against the right-hander. Here's the pitch. Outside, just missed the outside corner. So the count is full here to the leadoff man in the fifth. The right-hander delivers. Breaking ball. This one he fouled off the instep of his right foot. And that smarts on a cold morning. Wilbur 2 for 5. First game of the Twin Bill yesterday. 1 for 4 in the nightcap. And right now is officially 0 for 1. Or check that, 1 for 2. But has reached base twice officially. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Breaking ball. Popped towards the shortstop. He throws him out. Chris Klein with an outstanding play out there. And that'll bring up Kawambi Moss. Moss is 1 for 2 this afternoon. Base hit and scored a run in the third. Grounded out 4-3. Okay, Landon, the clock is on. The over-under on Paul saying afternoon for the rest of the day. What are we going to go with? Going with 4? Is that the over? Okay, so we'll set that one. Here's the 0-1 look. Now the pitch, missing the mark. Now the count 1-1 to Moss. Moss, the junior, leads the team in batting with .377 hitter. 26 strikeouts. There's a ground ball to the shortstop, and he throws him out. Back-to-back 6-3 putouts for Jay Glover as we moved here to Mason Love's opportunity. Mason Love was responsible for knocking in a pair of runs back in the third. Love officially 1 for 1 today. Walked in the first, double in the third. And number 16 on the season, a .329 hitter. Here's the pitch. He hits a base hit into left field. Love, a perfect day at the office on the 2-out hit. That'll bring up James Spira. Spira, who played the second game of the double dip yesterday, did not play the first game as Mike Wathier saw action in the first game.
Spira struggled thus far in the game, striking out both times at bat.
Spira yesterday had 1 base hit, had 1 walk, and was retired 2 other times. 9-2 in favor of the Mount Vernon Cougars here at Bethel College today. Jake Glover goes off the hill and taps himself on the chest and wants to get himself re-energized here against the Bethel cleanup hitter, Spira. The right-hander throws a pitch, misses the mark on the breaking ball. Spira, 2 at-bats today, 1 with a strikeout with the bat on his shoulder. The other one where he was swinging at it. He's 0 for 2. Here's a pitch. Now the count at 1-1. Rocky Beebe in the ballgame now for the Pilots as a pinch runner. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball. Caught the outside corner. James Spira not happy. Walks dejectedly over here to the... And that's one thing that you need to not do right there is don't show up the umpire. Now your strike zone just got a little larger. 1-2. Glover delivers this one outside. Now the count of 2-2. That home plate umpire, you can disagree with him, but you can just stand there. But when you walk away and you do those other things, that makes a difference. That pitch misses the mark. Now the count at 3-2. All you have to do is turn and look at the umpire and say, was that inside, outside? Just shake your head and accept that. But when you make that demonstrative move and get away from the plate, that umpire will always remember that. Here's your 3-2 look now with 2 down. Bottom of the 5th, Pilots trail 9-2. Here's the ball hit on the nose, and that'll be a base hit for James Spira. Now runners at first and second. A pair of 1-out hits for the Pilots have put 2 on the base paths for Brandon Diss. Diss, who is overdue. Diss 1 for 4 in the first game yesterday, 1 for 3 in the nightcap. So far today, 0 for 2. 2 down, Pilots threatening here in the home half of the 5th. Pitch outside. I'm speculating that Jake Glover is nearing the 90 pitch count. He had 77. Now here's the pitch. Fouled off this one, hit the catcher. Now the count at 1-1. Shalaski hoping for an opportunity here in the 5th. He's in the on-deck circle. Here's the 1-1 look with 2 down. Big opportunity for Glover with a breaking ball, and that's a dandy. That's now a 1-2 pitch. What a beautiful pitch. One-two pitch with 2 down. Pilots hoping to close the gap here now. Here's a pitch outside. Now the count at 2-2. So we have a 2-2 situation with 2 down and 2 on. Pilots with 2 on the board overall. The catcher going out, Drew Ritchie goes out and talks to his counterpart, Jake Glover. Drew Ritchie, the senior receiver. Ritchie, who's played in 19 games, 14 starts for him behind the plate, or 14 starts for sure. I don't know if they were all behind the plate. Here's the 2-2 look with 2 down. The right-hander with a breaking ball hit towards the second baseman, and that'll end the frame. 4-3 on the putout, so the inning was thwarted. Once again, you go back to Drew Ritchie going out there and settling down his pitcher, and he closed the door in the inning. No runs, a pair of hits, no errors, and 2 left. We have an official ball game here from Bethel College. Line score after 5, 9 runs on 8 hits and 1 error for Mount Vernon. 2 runs on 6 hits and 3 errors. Glover, 99 pitches through 5. We may see him for 1 more inning, but doubtful because there's gentlemen warming up in the bullpen. We'll see how that develops. We're live from Mishawaka, Indiana. Welcome to the Breakfast Club on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
Indiana High School football.
Here's the inside fake. Ben Brown back fast. He's flushed out of the pocket. Still on his feet. He looks. He throws downfield. The ball in the end zone. Caught! Unbelievable! 1 second to go. A sensational play by Ben Brown. 1 second to go. He frames it in the end zone. Touchdown, Lake Metro. Unbelievable.
Paul Condry and the Regional Radio Sports Network.
And all the way down, ball hits. Segudovic in the hands at the 10-yard line. He gets to the 20 to the 25. He's got a big haul to the 30. He's going to break it. Bob Segudovic will go all the way. The 20, the 15, the 10, the 5. Touchdown. Bob Segudovic goes the distance.
Experience the passion.
He's got a man right there. Flanagan at the 50, to the 40. Kevin Flanagan's going to go all the way to the end zone. Touchdown.
Friday nights on WeFM.
Yeah, every time I hear that, I get excited. High school football returns for Regional Radio Sports, and yours truly. Your number 31 coming your way in the fall on WEFM 95.9 FM. You can join me for exciting high school football all the way to the state championship game at Lucas Oil Stadium. That comes your way in August on 95.9 FM, our flagship station out in the Michigan City, Valparaiso area. Getting underway, it's Drew Ritchie followed by Nick Mosier and Chris Klein, respectively. We go 9-1-2 in the order for Coach Keith Field's squad, who lead 9-2 here in the top of the 6th inning. Here's the 2-1 look. Andrew Bobeck, the guy on the bump for the Pilots today, had a rough sledding in the 2nd inning and a couple hiccups in the 1st, but outside of that has been much improved here as of late. Here now they counted 3-2.
That's going to be pitch number 101 for Bobeck on the game.
His counterpart on the other side of things was Jake Glover, and there's a strikeout, a rare mistake right there for Drew Ritchie.
We talked about it during the break. The pitcher warming up for the Mount Vernon squad is going to be Mark Rader, the junior, 6'1", from Grove City, Ohio.
And now batting here from the left side, the leadoff man, Nick Mosier. Mosier takes ball one here in the 6th. In case you're just hopping along this morning, Mount Vernon has scored 2 in the 1st, 7 in the 2nd, and bagels across the way through the rest. The Pilots with a couple bagels in the 1st and 2nd. They were put a 2 spot on in the 3rd, and it's been bagels from there on in. We're at 9-2. Bobeck with a beautiful breaking ball there. Bends that one off against Mosier. Now the count at 2-1. The left-hander delivers. Slow roller towards the first baseman, and it'll angle foul. And now the count is even on the card at 2-2. Chris Klein is on deck for Mount Vernon. The 2-2 look here for number 2. His team leading 9-2. Here's a pitch, a little high. Now the count is full at 3-2. I keep going back to Nick Mosier's at bat in the 2nd inning because it changed the game. He had an 8-pitch at bat in the 2nd inning, and here he is again picking up a base on balls. That's exactly what you want out of your leadoff hitter, just to get on base. And they have done a great job at doing that. Nick Mosier's on-base percentage now at .459 starting today. And when you look at number 2, at 5'10", 160 pounds, the product of Big Walnut High in Sunbury, Ohio, just doing all the fundamental little things as Chris Klein takes ball one.
If I'm the Pilots here, I'm getting a little deja vu as Mosier goes to first base here on the walk.
He's off and going. That's a stolen base. Oh, he got him. What a throw by Mason Love. When Love threw the ball, I thought for sure he was going to be safe, but a great tag, perfectly placed. Shame on sportscaster Paul for assuming the play was going to happen. That's 1-4 on the putout, and that'll be the 2nd out of the inning.
Well, I believe I just pulled the first anti-jinx and did something good for the Pilots.
Here's Chris Klein now, trying to settle it out here. He's looking at, instead of having a runner on base in front of him, now he's got the bases empty. 2-1 is the count. Ball hit high. Short left field. Left fielder Seth Kermode grabs it. And ironically, it's 3 up and 3 down in the most unique way. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. We move to the home half of the 6th inning. 9-2 as Andrew Bobeck, now with 112 pitches through his 6 innings of work. We'll be back with more of Bethel Baseball right after this timeout on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
They came from every corner of the country, from small towns and big cities. But they all shared one thing in common. They belonged to a family called Marines, a tough and determined few dedicated to protecting everything we hold sacred. And still, they come. Celebrate the history of those proud few who have earned the title Marine.
They say growth is a journey and not a destination. At Teachers Credit Union, we agree. Helping our communities grow has been our mission ever since we began our journey in 1931. And supporting our members' growth has helped us to become Indiana's largest credit union. And we're just getting started. Whatever you want to grow, Teachers Credit Union is ready to help. Visit a branch or tcunet.com today. Teachers Credit Union deposits are federally insured by the NCUA, and we are an equal housing opportunity.
Mark Rader is going to enter the contest now for Keith Veal's baseball team. Rader with a record of 4-2. Rader, wearing jersey number 23, hails from Grove City, Ohio. Prepped at Grove City High, a 6'1", 190-pounder with an ERA of 3.38. This is his 11th game that he's pitched in. 48 innings pitched, 45 hits, 24 runs, 18 of those runs are earned. A strikeout walk ratio of 24-18. Giving up 8 doubles, 2 homers. Teams are batting .247 against him. He's got 7 hits batsmen, which is second on the team, and 4 wild pitches. And now to count 1-1 to the leadoff man, Jake Shalaski. Now to count at 1-2 as Shalaski swings through. Shalaski 0 for 2 this morning. Here's the pitch, trying to get on the outside corner. Now the count at 2-2. Sean Luzon and CM Laffey to follow. Once again, keeping an eye on that radar that we have. We'll see how this thing plays itself out. Still no sign of that so-called rain. So-called. Our friends in Rochester are about ready to get spanked. Here's a pitch. Slow roller, third baseman. Throws. Boom, boom. 5-3 on the putout. As Mark Rader successful on his first attempt at sending the Pilots packing. And that'll bring up Sean Luzon. Luzon has batted twice today and has struck out both times. Sean Luzon, one of 5 Bethel seniors who are going to finish out their careers this week. Sean Luzon, who has played in a little over 30 games in his career as a pitcher, 2-4 as an everyday player with 106 games, lifetime hitter at .236 starting this weekend's action. Luzon this season, however, been well below that career average at 196. He has struggled this spring. He's now looking at a 1-2. Here's the pitch, strike 3. Sean strikes out for the 3rd time. This one a little different. He'll go back to the dugout with the bat on his shoulder. 0 for 3 for him and 3 strikeouts. That'll bring up CM Laffey. Laffey, the junior second baseman.
At bat number 22, CM
He was 1 for 2. Seth Kermode hoping for an opportunity to face off against Mark Rader here in the 6th inning. As it stands right now, the decision to move this game up by the coaching teams of Coach Zartman and Coach Veal, it has paid dividends because we have an official game in the books now here in the 6th inning. Here's a swing and a miss. CM Laffey couldn't catch up to the fastball for Mark Rader. That one had some juice on that ball. That was the best fastball that we've seen today from him. Here's the 2-1 offering. And that's a swing and a miss. Now the count at 2-2. The one thing that Rader and Glover both have done today for Mount Vernon is they've made the Bethel hitters put the ball in play and allowed the outfielders and infielders just to make fundamental plays. And that's more often than not what you have to do. There's very few guys who can go out there and paint corners as CM Laffey strikes out, and that'll end the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. Pretty easy debut for Mark Rader here at Patterson Field at Jenkins Stadium. 16 pitches and the Pilots go packing. We're through 6. The line score reads Mount Vernon 9 runs on 8 hits and 1 error. Bethel 2 runs on 6 hits and 3 miscues. We'll be back after this.
There are those who dedicate themselves to a sense of honor, to a life of courage, and a commitment to something greater than themselves. They have always defended this nation and each other. They still do. The few, the proud, the Marines.
When your child's in the hospital, the last thing you want to do is to leave their bedside.
If we had to leave the hospital at any time, it would have drove us nuts.
The family room was definitely a blessing for us. We needed to be close to our daughter, and it gave us exactly what we needed at that time.
Make a difference in the life of a family when they need it most. Give to the Ronald McDonald House at Memorial Children's Hospital in South Bend. Donate to our new house at loveshinethrough.org.
Welcome back here on Regional Radio Sports. Glad that you could spend this morning with us here from Mishawaka, Indiana, on the campus of Bethel College. The Mount Vernon Nazarene Cougars trying for the third consecutive game to go double digits in runs scored. They have put 9 on the board through the first 6 as we move here to the 7th inning. They'll feature Jake Glover, Ashton Myers, and Devin Pearl, respectively. Now, looking at Jake Glover, he has now moved from pitcher. He remains in the everyday lineup, and now is the team's designated hitter. So he's batting as the designated hitter here in the 7th inning. The previous 3 at-bats were as the team's pitcher. He hits a sky-high pop-up. Mason Love slow to get the glove off, and he runs into the net and overran the ball. And that will be just a harmless opportunity, run a gun there. And just like that, Dante, you look at that. That's the second time we've seen that this afternoon. And now it's 1-2.
It's all about fundamentals, and overreaching on the ball is just simple mistakes.
Now they're kind of 2-2. Ashton Myers waiting on deck for Mount Vernon. Mount Vernon with a win today. They'll put, oh my, ball hit deep. He put a charge into that one. That ball is gone. Oh my. Jake Glover goes yard, and that one was 380 plus. That was just to the right of the big blue monster. And it's now 10-2. A towering blast for Jake Glover. Glover now 3 for 3 with 3 RBIs. And for Glover, home run number 5. And now Matthew Peach warming up in the bullpen for the Pilots. Boy, did he absolutely tattoo that baseball. And now Ashton Myers, the second homer of the game for Mount Vernon. And for the third consecutive day, the Pilots have been hit for double digits. Here's a ball hit deep to right field, as Kawami Moss goes over into right center to make the catch. And that'll be the first out of the inning. That'll bring up Devin Pearl. Pearl, who is 2 for 3 this morning. Had a base hit with an RBI in the first inning. He had a double, scored a run, scored on a pass ball in the second. And here's the ball hit to right field. Shalaski, Moss converge. Moss makes the catch. And that'll bring up Aaron Saul.
Back-to-back pop-ups to Kwame Moss in center field.
10-2, Cougars here in the 7th inning. And Aaron Saul, who's Been on base a couple times. Struck out in the first inning, reached on an error, stole a base, scored a run in the second. Walked, stole a base in the fifth. So this morning he looks to try to continue his play. Now they're kind of 1-1. Kobe Miller waiting in the wings for Mount Vernon. Ball foul back to the screen. Now they're kind of 1-2. Matthew Peach, who is slated to be the next Bethel pitcher, the sophomore from Crawfordsville, Indiana, prepped at North Montgomery. Here's one foul back to the screen, and that's on its way towards my Toyota RAV4, purchased by the Gates Automotive Group. Now the 1-2 look here with 2 down. Bobeck, the southpaw, delivers. Ball hit deep to center field. Kawambi Moss is there to make the catch. Kawambi made all 3 putouts in the inning. In the inning for Mount Vernon. 1 run on 1 hit. No errors and nobody left on base. A towering bomb by the leadoff man, Jake Glover. And we move to the bottom of the 7th. Dante Stanton's going to sing "Take Me Out to the Ballgame" when we come back right after this on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
They had no chance of winning, but they had one huge advantage: General George Washington.
The fate of unborn millions will now depend, under God, on the courage and conduct of this army. We have to resolve to conquer or die.
Just as the leadership of one man helped form a nation, today leadership can transform the world. Pass it on from the Foundation for a Better Life at Values.com.
Centier Bank is Indiana's largest private family-owned bank. Since 1895, the Schrag family has built a legacy of success through business and by servicing the communities of northern and central Indiana. Centier's not-for-sale promise pledges to the communities we serve that we will continue to preserve independent banking in Indiana for generations to come. Centier Bank is proud to serve the communities of northern and central Indiana. Please visit Centier.com for more information, and don't forget to like us on Facebook, member FDIC.
On to the next facility, and they measured it at like 440 feet. Welcome back here on Regional Radio Sports. We were just talking about that home run by Glover in the last inning of the towering ball that he hit, but Coach Tom Visker, who's up in the broadcast booth with Bethel Athletic Director, was just talking about the glory days of the Guevara boys and Javi Jimenez and that great Latin connection that the Pilots had from Venezuela. And boy, they put some steam in some of the baseballs over those years, and certainly Marcel and Javi were pretty special in those days. Due up for the Pilots, it will go 9-1-2. Kermode, Jake Wilburn, and Kawambi Moss. As they're matched up here against Mark Rader. And you can never talk about that group enough as far as I'm concerned. I was blessed to be able to broadcast games when that group was here. And you have to go back to the early 2s, and I still say this was the best baseball team I've ever had a chance to watch play the game, especially from an offensive standpoint. You look at the Bethel baseball record book, and here's the ball hit back here. Now the count at 3-2.
And there's a second ball into your RAV4 there, Paul.
You look at Marcel, who was an NCCAA Division I All-American. That team in 2004, here's the ball popped up and off to the left, and we'll put this in the perspective that it is. That team had 5 NCCAA All-Americans. Marcel Guevara, Javi Guevara, Zach Rodman, who was a great catcher, Tommy Gifford, and some guy by the name of Masterson. I don't know, I've never heard of him before, but that was an amazing group of young men. And the year before that, here's the ball hit to right field, ball caught out there. An adventurous play for the right fielder, Ashton Myers. So 1 up and 1 down. Now to bring up to the top of the order, Jake Wilburn. But that team also was loaded when it was all said and done. That 04 team, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys made all conference. And in the 2006 team, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 guys made the all-conference team. Now, we mentioned earlier in the broadcast about that great team that Keith Veal had back in '96 when they went 43-3 and won 24 straight games. I remember distinctly doing one of those games where the Pilots won 26 consecutive baseball games. And what a special 2 or 3 year period that was to have those boys here in those Bethel blue jerseys. Now we're looking at a 1-1 count here to Wilburn. That last pitch misses the mark. Now the count at 2-1. By the way, Dante, thanks for that trip down Amnesia Lane. 10-2 our score here. Here's a pitch foul back to the screen. I think my favorite thing about that group, we had those 4 or 5 kids from Venezuela. In between the games, we had those boys would come up here into the broadcast booth, and their parents would listen to the post-game show. We would do a post-game show back there. Here's the ball hit to the hole, and Jake Wilburn's got himself a base hit. But those boys their parents would listen to the games where they were living in Venezuela, and I would just turn the headsets over to them, and they would talk to their parents who were listening in Caracas, Venezuela. And this, once again, this was the early stages of when we were doing web broadcasting. We were doing them on radio and web at the same time. And it was so neat to have that connection with those boys and to see where they're at today and all the successes that they are having as fathers and as husbands. It's really one of the great parts of, and the most rewarding part for me to be able to do this job. Here's your 1-0 look now here to Kalami Moss. 1 down, runner on. And that pitch misses the mark. Now the count at 2-0. Kalami on the afternoon now 1 for 3. Base hit, scored a run in the third. Mark Rader, the pitcher, from the stretch, delivers right down Main Street. Now the count at 2-1. Mason Love hoping for an opportunity. Cougars have yet to retire him. He is on the on-deck circle. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Breaking ball, foul back right to the screen. Now the count at 2-2. Here's your 2-2 look now with 1 down. 10-2 Mount Vernon here in the 7th inning. The right-hander delivers, breaking ball, flares off to the right, short right field. Second baseman on the outfield grass about 15 paces, makes the grab for the second out of the inning. That'll bring up Mason Love.
At bat, number 16, Mason Love.
This is exactly the hitter that they want at base right now. He's gone 2 for 2 today and a walk in the first inning. Great day so far for Love.
Love, who's been the hard-working guy. Peyton Booth now warming up in the pen for Mount Vernon. There's a pitch inside. Oh, totally fooled Love on that one. Now the count at 0-1. Here's your 0-1 look. Here's one hit off to the left and out of place. So Love finds himself in a hole now with 2 down. Mark Rader gets the sign from Drew Ritchie. The right-hander delivers. He fell down on that last pitch, and he strikes him out. Put a lot of velocity on him in that one, and it'll close in the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 pilot left on base. The Pilots have stranded 7 through 7, and at the end of 7, it's 10-2. 10 runs on 9 hits and 1 error for Mount Vernon. 2 runs on 7 hits and 3 errors. Come back and join us this morning for more of Bethel baseball right after this.
there's always a moment of truth where it's either put up or shut up. We were yelling our hearts out. Even in our weakness, even in our pain, we continued to push. I don't know where the pain went to, but all I know is that I had what it took. I am a United States Marine.
PFC Darrell Willis serves his country as a Marine. Will you? Visit Marines.com or call 1-800-MARINES.
Hi, this is Paul Condry of the Regional Radio Sports Network. That may be my professional title, but did you know that I'm also the son of a U.S. Navy World War II veteran and a proud father of a United States Marine? Let me share with you something very close to my heart. It's called the Semper Fi Fund and its program America's Fund, which provides immediate lifetime support for post-9/11 wounded, critically ill, and injured members of the U.S. Armed Forces, veterans, and their families to ease recovery and transition back home to their communities. The Semper Fi. Welcome back here on Regional Radio Sports. We got to cut that off a little short, but we've got the massive changes for Bethel defensively. Let's try to get those up for you. Sean Luzon is now in to pitch, and for Sean, with a record of 0-1, this will be his 7th game as a pitcher. He does have one start, 15 in a third innings pitch, 17 hits, 11 runs, 10 earned runs. He's walked 11 and struck out 9, given up 3 doubles, no homers, 3 homers. No hits, batsman, or no wild pitches. So he'll be on the bump. Defensively, James Spira moves from first base over to third, with Luzon moving from third to pitcher. Now, Mike Wathier, the 6'2", 220-pounder from Crown Point High School, will now be at first base. The defense in the outfield remains the same as Kermode, Moss, and Shalaski remain in the same position they are, and Mason Love will still stay in the game at the Bethel's receiver. Now due up for Mount Vernon. First batter batting here in the 8th inning is Kobe Miller, the junior first baseman, number 17. Is 0 for 2 officially. Did have a walk in that big second inning. And now the pitch, missing the mark. Now they're kind of 1-1. If you look at Mount Vernon's production all season long, it's hard to pinpoint any inning that they've been more successful in than any other. Because in the first inning, they've scored over 50 runs. In the second inning, they've scored over 50 runs. In the 4th, 5th, 6th, they've scored over 50 runs in those. And here's a ball. And that'll be an error by the left fielder as Seth Kermode did try to come in to make the play. And that'll be E7.
At bat number 13.
And that'll bring up Brant Miller.
They appear to be calling it a hit over here at the...
Oh, you're a kind soul. You are a kind soul. So that'll be a base hit according to our official score. So that'll be the 10th hit. And once again, Mount Vernon has double hit the Pilots. Double digits and runs scored. Double play ball. 6. Maybe not. They're going to say the force out was good. They were going to say Sam Laffey, when he tried to turn the double play, lost the ball. So their lead man is erased on the 6-4 force. That'll put Brent Miller at first base on the fielder's choice. And that'll bring up senior catcher Drew Ritchie, the number 9 hitter in the lineup. So 1 down, runner on first here in the 8th. 10-2 in favor of Mount Vernon. Here's the pitch from Sean Luzon. The right-hander delivers right down Main Street for a strike. Ritchie 0 for 3 on the afternoon. A fly out in the 2nd. Ground out in the 3rd, and a strikeout in the 6th. Here's a pitch. This one off to the right. Now they're kind of 1-1. Ritchie, the only Cougar today to not reach the base paths in some capacity in the number 9 spot. He nearly hit one down the left field line. That's just a strike. Now that kind of 1-2. Had we started this game at 10 o'clock like we initially had talked about, we may not have got it in. The way this rain cloud is coming up on the screen here. Here's one zipped off to the left and out of play. That is a big band of green over there. Yeah. Looking at that coming our way.
Let's hope we can finish this one up before the...
I'm confident we will. We'll get this thing in. Here's a breaking ball. That ball's hit to left field. Ball caught out there by Kermode.
Beautiful.
On the breaking ball, and that'll be the second out of the inning. Then we'll go to the top of the order in Nick Mosier.
At bat, number 2, Nick Mosier.
As good as Jake Glover, Chris Klein, and Ashton Myers, Devin Pearl, and Aaron Saul all are, and they are all very good. This is the guy who, this is the straw that stirs the drink right here, and Nick Mosier. Mosier, who came into today's game with 25 stolen bases in your leadoff spot. I'm going to continue to go over this because Mosier on the year struck out 29 times, but he's also picked up 27 walks. 25 stolen bases in 31 attempts coming into this weekend's action. He's got a total of 73 bases coming into this weekend's action. And now the count of 1-1 to him. This is the 18th game. They've scored 9 or in double digits in runs. And 3 of those have come at the Pilots' expense. Here's the 2-1 pitch. This one caught the inside corner. Now the count is even on the card at 2-2. Two with 2 out, number 2 at bat. You got yourself a 4 of a kind there. We'll see what number 2 can do here. Will he be the third out? He fouls one off to the left and out of play. We can deja vu all over again. Some activity in the Cougar pen. Still nothing happening in the Pilots pen, as I think Sean Luzon is going to be the man to finish it out. There's a breaking ball hit high. Moss, short center field, snags it. And they kept Nick Mosier off the base pass. That's a step in the right direction. In the inning, no runs, no hits, no errors, 1 man left. We move to the home half of the 8th. Pilots a 10-2 trailer. We'll be back with more BC baseball right after this on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
Fun, serving those who preserve our freedom. The basic idea that drives these efforts is simple. For as much as our heroes have sacrificed, they deserve the best care and support available in their hour of need, whenever it may occur. The Semper Fi Fund, a 4-star charity and an A+ rating, has served over 16,000 members since 2004. The Semper Fi Fund, serving those who preserve our freedom. For more information, visit them online at www.semperfifund.org.
Welcome back here on Regional Radio Sports. We're glad you had a chance to join us this morning for college baseball. 11:09 Eastern Time as we move here to the bottom of the 8th. Mount Vernon leading with 10 runs on 10 hits and 1 error. Bethel 2 runs on 7 hits and 3 errors. New pitcher for Mount Vernon Nazarene University. It will be number 37, Peyton Booth. Booth, a 6'2", 220-pounder who prepped at Heath High School in Heath, Ohio. And let's take a look at Booth's number. This will be Booth will be pitching in his 12th game of the year. He has a ERA of 7.76. He's 3-0 on the season. He has 29 innings pitched, given up 40 hits, 25 runs. All 25 of those runs are earned. 11 walks, 23 strikeouts, given up 6 doubles, 2 triples, 2 long balls. And teams are batting .336 against him. He does have 5 wild pitches. He's hit 1 batter. As we get ready to get underway here in the home half of the 8th, the Cougars with an 8-run advantage as the Pilots will send James Spira, Brandon Diss, and Jake Shalaski through the turnstiles. And some activity. Discussions between Keith Veal, Seth Zartman, and the home plate umpire Howard Jackson. We don't know what it is, but they have got together and discussed pleasantries. I'm guessing that Seth is probably telling Keith Veal and home plate umpire Howard Jackson how awesome the breakfast sandwich was he got at the 12th Street Diner this morning as we had breakfast here in the dugout. As we're looking at a change in the lineup. And once again, I don't think it's earth-shattering at this stage. Quick programming reminder, join me on Thursday night from Beef O'Brady's. Our special guest will be Bethel softball coach. Scott Reese will be hanging out having dinner with Matt Copsey and I. Should be interesting to hear from him. And I don't know what all the discussion was, but other than how great the breakfast sandwich was, or asking those guys if they listened to the coach's box this past week. Has to be one of those two, wouldn't you think so, Dante?
Always. It's got to be. I'm going to go with the breakfast sandwiches. Those were pretty good.
They were pretty good. Thanks to my buddy Kate Sargent for breakfast this morning. And James Spira will start it out. We still have no idea what the discussion was, but we'll play on. As James Spira, who is 1 for 3 today, base hit in the 5th, started off the game with a called 3rd strike and a swinging strike in the 1st and 3rd, respectively, this morning. And now the count of 0-1 to him. Pitch outside, now the count of 1-1. Peyton Booth, the 3rd pitcher for Mount Vernon. So Keith Veal's squad can, if they hold on to this lead, can wait patiently for that battle coming up. I believe it's Wednesday when Huntington will be, I believe, battling Grace. If you'll check that for me, Landon. That game is that was going to be a makeup game, and who would have thought that would, coming into this weekend series, that game would even play any factor in the Crossroads League regular season championship. Now the count of 2-2 here to Spira. Here's a pitch flared off to the left and out of play. Keep in mind the Crossroads League postseason tournament, all the games will be at Taylor University. Pilots, of course, this year will not be, and that'll be strike 3 call as Spira, for the 3rd time in 4 opportunities, strikes out. So the Pilots down to 5 outs. It will be Goshen versus Huntington on Tuesday. There we have it. Is that what it is?
No, Goshen was the game today.
Okay, so they moved the game today?
No, Grace and Huntington Tuesday.
My impression was that there was one more game remaining in the conference. So here's 0-1 pitch now here to Brandon Diss. Here's the ball hit off to the right. Ashton Myers is there, and he makes the catch. Grace Huntington, there you go. Thank you, guys. Now the count, now that after the F9, that makes the 2nd out, and that'll bring it into the hands of Jake Shalaski. Landon, do me a favor, check in right field. I don't believe that is Ashton Myers out there anymore. I think we have a new right fielder. And that'll be strike 1 here to Shalaski. If you can zero in with those field glasses, who do you got? Walker. Here's the ball hit to the 3rd baseman, and there it is. An easy 1-2-3 inning for Peyton Booth. As we move to the 9th, no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. The Cougars lead at 10-2 as we come back with more here live from Mishawaka, Indiana. Looks like we're going to get 9 in today, folks. We'll be back with more right after this on Regional Radio Sports.
Never give in. Never give in. Never, never, never. In nothing, great or small, large or petty, never give in except to convictions of honor and good sense.
Winston Churchill's immortal words stirred an entire country in the face of certain defeat. Today, these words give each of us the courage to reach for our own victories.
Never give in. Never give in. Never, never, never.
Commitment. Pass it on. From the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com.
Welcome back. Welcome you to the Breakfast Club here from Bethel College in Mishawaka, Indiana. We move to the home half of the, the top of the ninth, excuse me. Let's get your act together here, Condry. As we move along, due up, Klein, Glover, and Myers, and that could change. Keith Veal, immediately, as soon as I say that, is out here to make all kinds of changes. We'll await those. It appears that Corey Clark has picked up a bat. The question is he going to bat here now or not? We'll let that play itself out. And we'll just give them to you as they go. Matter of fact, a couple of guys picking up bats here. Yanni Patton's picked up a bat. We saw Yanni yesterday in the nightcap. And also picking up a bat here, Corey Clark, the sophomore from Waynesville, Ohio, has picked up a bat. So as we get those through you, the one thing is for certain we can give you the defense for Bethel. James Spira, Jake Wilburn, C.M. Laffey, and Mike Wathier. That is your infield for Bethel. And the Pilots with a new pitcher out there are going to call upon, they're going to remain with Sean Luzon. And Mason Love remains behind the plate. Defensively, it's Kermode, Moss, and Shalaski in the outfield. And the lead-off man here in the ninth, which is batting in the number 6 spot in the lineup, is Corey Clark. As he takes the first offering from, and just like that, he beamed him. So a hit by pitch. Somebody not happy down there. And now it's up to Yanni Patton. Patton wearing jersey number 29. Patton, who hails from Wadsworth, Ohio, went to Medina Highland High School. He bats from the left side. Here's a pitch on the inside corner for a strike. Ashton Myers, who was slated to bat next, I don't think we're going to see him. As Patton looks at the pitch. This pitch gets away, and a runner will advance to second base on the wild pitch. So Luzon with a hits batsman, a wild pitch. And now the count at 1-1. Yanni Patton. Patton, 6'1", 240 pounds. Big dude out there, batting from the left side. Looking at the 1-1 offering from Luzon. Pitch a little high now, 2-1. We saw Patton yesterday in the ballgame with a strikeout. Pitch, inside outset over here to the left. James Spira in foul territory snags the baseball to retire Yanni Patton for the first out of the inning. And that'll bring up whom? Thank you very much for turning. It's going to be Jack Griffith.
At bat number 11, Jack Griffith.
Jack Griffith, a 5'10", 165-pound junior from Lancaster, Ohio. And he prepped at Bloom Carroll High School. Warming up in the bullpen is Adam Goodpaster. We saw him yesterday for a stint. There's a breaking ball from Luzon. Looking at the numbers on number 11 coming into the ball game. Jack Griffith. Griffith playing in only his 8th game of the year. Here's the pitch, breaking ball. A little high, now the count at 1-1 to Jack Griffith. Griffith, who this is his 8th at-bat of the year. No hits for number 11. Looking at a 1-1 count with 1 down. Runner at second. Luzon delivers. This one on the outside. Half, and that'll make it a 2-1 count. Defense at medium depth. Outfield likewise. Straightaway center, left and right respectively. Jack Griffith matched up against Sean Luzon. Here's a pitch. Now the count at 3-1. A good eye for Griffith. And on deck, I believe we have Toby Walker's going to be batting next. Here's the 3-1 look, and that'll be a base on balls for Griffith. So Griffith officially now is still only 7 at-bats on the season as he picks up a base on balls. Now runners at first and second for Mount Vernon, already leading 10-2 here in the 9th. And now Toby Walker's at-bat.
Just a little bit of icing on the cake here for the Mount Vernon squad. Trying to put this game away. I mean, may already be away.
Walker, a .288 hitter. This is his 112th at-bat of the year. Batting here in the 9th with his club up by 8. He takes ball 1 as he's batting from the left side. On deck, it appears that we'll go with Hunter Dent is going to move into that next spot, as it's been a revolving door for Keith Veal. He's going to get his reserves some playing time here, as this one's an 8-run game in the 9th. Here's the 2-0 look here to Toby Walker. Pitch right down the heart of the plate. Now the count at 2-1. Here's your 2-1 look with 1 down. Pitch a little high, now the count at 3-1. Crossroads League action getting underway right about now. We'll see games from Marion versus Spring Arbor, St. Francis versus Taylor. Grace and Goshen are getting after it, and then it'll be ball 4. Now the bases are loaded with blue jerseys, dark blue jerseys, I should say, on back-to-back bases on balls. And without the courtesy of a hit by batsman, a wild pitch,
41, Hunter Dent.
and a pair of walks, and Hunter Dent with an opportunity here now. Hunter Dent playing in only his 7th game of the year. This will be his official 11th at bat. He has 3 hits. He's a big dude, man. 6'1", 240. I'll be batting here from the left side. Tell you what, if Keith Veal decides to put together a football team, I tell you what, he's got a heck of an offensive lineup there with Glover and Dent, Yanni Patton. All those guys are tipping the scales at 240 plus. You got Peyton Booth is at 220.
Half those guys are pitchers.
Now here is Sean Luzon, hoping to close it out, and that'll be ball 1. My scorecard looks like a bomb went off on it. Here's the 1-0 look. With 1 down, Pilots hoping for a double play to get out of it. Here's a pitch down Main Street for a strike. Now the count of 1-1, 100 Dent. 4 new guys in the lineup here. Actually, We can go with 5 new guys in the lineup here in the 9th inning. Here's the pitch. That one missed the mark. Now the count at 2-1. Sean Luzon, no place to put him. Wathier in on the grass here at first. James Spear on the grass here at third. Sean Luzon. There's the ball popped up off to the left. Foul territory and just out of the reach of Seth Kermode. Seth probably would tell you that he should have caught the ball. That will not be an error. But Seth, that's one we've seen him make on numerous occasions. And he comes up trying to stretch out that left leg. And now the count of 2-2. Once again, staying alive is Hunter Dent. Two count with 1 down. Sean Luzon matched up against Hunter Dent here with the bases loaded in the 9th. And now the count at 3-2.
Pilots cannot afford to walk another person. This is 2 walks in the inning already. They can't afford another one.
Here's the 3-2 pitch. Luzon delivers. That ball hit. Straightaway center. Kawambi Moss is there. Everybody, a runner will score. That'll be a sacrifice fly for Hunter Dent. As that hit batsman comes back to haunt Sean Luzon. It's now an 11-2 ball game. Jack Griffith and Toby Walker remain where they are at, respectively. And that's the second out in the frame. And that'll bring up Kobe Miller. Kobe Miller, who has had a base hit back in the 8th. And Kobe, the junior first baseman from Millersburg, Ohio. 5'10", 185-pounder, batting here from the left side. Sean Luzon needs to close the door. Here's a pitch a little high. Now the count at 2-0. Brent Miller scheduled to be the next batter on deck, but I don't think we'll see him because Luis Cintron is picked up a bat. Now the count at 2-1. Here's the 2-1 look. Little high, now the count at 3-1. The 3-1 look with 2 down. Sean Luzon delivers. Ball hit straightaway center. Kawambi Moss is on his horse, and he makes a sensational. No, he dropped the ball at the last one. 1 run will score. 2 runs will score. Moss, who I thought made the catch, and then when he rolled over, the ball popped out of his mitt. And it is now a 13-2 ball game. Once again, all the damage being done because of 2 walks and a hits batsman. As Kobe Miller comes through in the clutch here, that improves the advantage to 13-2. Now the question I have is the mercy rule invoked here with 13-2. Will the Pilots be allowed to bat in the 9th? I am not sure about that here in the Crossroads League. Once again, with a runner in scoring position, it's Luis Cintron. This ball gets away. Runner does not advance. Luis Cintron, a 5'10", 170-pounder from Ponce, Puerto Rico. You guys want to take a stab at how to pronounce that high school? Good luck with that one.
Colegio Sagrada Corazon.
Okay. Good enough for me. I'm with you there, my man.
3 years of high school Spanish.
There you go. And 0 for yours truly. Here's a swing and a miss. Very good, Dante Stanton. Now the count of 1-1.
That's what I'm here for.
That's what you did. As we like to say, that's what you get paid the big bucks for, right there. Here's the 1-1. Dante, part of our internship program at with our high school at Concord High. Now counted 2-1. 2-1, the count, and now the count right down Main Street for a strike. Now the count of 2-0 to Cintron here on the 9th. Sean Luzon and Andrew Bobek, your two Bethel pitchers, both of them seniors, finishing their careers here at home. One hopper to the third baseman, and that'll do it. As Cintron is retired. 5-3. That ends the inning. Mount Vernon pushes across 3 in the 9th on only 1 hit. No errors. 1 man left on base. And at the end of 8.5, 13-2 our score. And we'll be back with more right after this on Regional Radio Sports.
They came from every corner of the country, from small towns and big cities. But they all shared one thing in common. They belonged to a family called Marines, a tough and determined few dedicated to protecting everything we hold sacred. And still, they come. Celebrate the history of those proud few who have earned the title Marine.
Welcome back here on Regional Radio Sports. Another change in the lineup. New pitcher now for Mount Vernon Nazarene University. It's going to be Adam Goodpaster. We saw Adam pitch yesterday. Good old number 9 is a 6-foot, 200-pounder. Goodpaster on the Carlisle, Ohio product. Went to Carlisle High. And Carlisle, Ohio product, Goodpaster. Take a look at him. He has appeared now in 22 games. A record of 1-1. He has 9 saves. An ERA, a sparkling 2.28. 27 2/3 innings pitched, giving up 9 runs, 7 of them earned, 23 hits, 32 strikeouts, and only 9 walks. And teams are batting .217 against him. It'll be Luzon, Laffey, and Kermode. As the right-hander Goodpaster delivers, and that one, a swing and foul back. So the Pilots, just a quick reminder, the Pilots season finale slated for Tuesday, 4 o'clock. Here's a ground ball to the shortstop. Picks it up. 6-3 on the put down. As fundamental play as they get by Chris Klein. That talented sophomore shortstop. That'll bring up Sam Laffey.
At bat number 22, Sam Laffey.
The Cougars with the win today now will improve to 13-9 away from home. Laffey's pitch is a strike. And in the big picture of it, I've never been a big fan of what's the difference between playing in neutral. If you're away from home, you're away from home. Here's the ball hit into right field. Right fielder is there, and Walker makes the catch. The Pilots down to their final out. But Mount Vernon is 23 and 14 away from the friendly confines of their home field in Mount Vernon, Ohio, with the win today. And as we alluded to earlier and throughout the broadcast, 3 consecutive games in double figures and runs scored. Puts them at 18 games this season they have scored in double digits. Here's the pitch getting away. Now the kind of 1-1 now here to Seth Kermode. Kermode, another one of the Bethel seniors. The only Bethel senior we have not seen today has been Josh Gillum and Josh King. 1-1 pitch, popped it up. Comes back to the screen here, and it will. Drew Ritchie couldn't track it down. That was right up against the netting. And now they're kind of 1-2.
And Paul, I just did some math. According to my numbers, over the past 3 games, unless Bethel scores here, they have been outscored 37-16 in these past 3 games.
Yeah, it's not good. It'd take a rocket scientist to figure that one out. Here is Adam Goodpasture trying to close it out here. He can do it with 1 pitch. Here's the right-hander's delivery with the leg kick. And that's a little high. Now the count of 2-2. Just missed the strike zone. Kermode 0 for 3 today. The right-hander delivers. Oh, he tried to get that outside corner, and the home plate umpire, Howard Jackson, was not thinking about it. Now the count of 3-2. Here's a pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3, and that'll do it. Pilots go down quietly. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. The visitors come over from Ohio and take the Pilots out to the woodshed. Big time. 13-2. 13 runs on 11 hits. 1 error for Mount Vernon. Mount Vernon on the day ends up stranding 5 runs. 5 runners left on base. Bethel, 2 runs on 7 hits, 3 errors. The Pilots end up stranding on their side of things 7. Pilots strand 7. Mount Vernon improves to 36-15 on the season and 19-8 in league play. Bethel falls to 11-28 and 7-20 in conference play, as the teams will meet here around the home plate area. The winner today, earning his 9th win of the season, is Jake Glover. The loser is Andrew Bobeck. Bobeck falls to 4-6 on the season. Once again, as the teams get together here, and Seth leads the team in prayer, we're going to wrap up our broadcast here today. Once again, final score, 13-2. The Mount Vernon Nazarene Cougars win the ball game. Their fate is in the hands of Huntington and Grace, which is going to be played later on. But the way it stands right now, Mount Vernon is assured themselves of at least a tie for the Crossroads League 2019 Baseball Championship. Once again, final score from Mishawaka, Indiana, on the campus of Bethel College in Mishawaka, Indiana, from Richard C. Patterson Field at Jenkins Stadium. Mount Vernon 13, Bethel 2 for Dante Stanton. Special thanks again to Andrew Bowen. Amazing work again by my main man, Landon Kaufman. Thanks to all of our coaches who spent time with us today, including Dr. Tom Bisker was with us, for Brad Foster and all of us at Regional Radio Sports. God bless you all. We'll see you on Tuesday on Senior Day on the Regional Radio Sports Network. God bless you all. Semper Fidelis. Good night, everyone. Okay, Don.